Everyone here to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page. Thanks again for joining us as always. This is the top 10 police chases of 2024. You know, right here on Live Now from Fox, we feature some crazy police chases throughout the year. So we thought, okay, let's put the top 10 together and bring that to you all right here on Live Now from Fox. What we do here on Live Now is bring you raw feeds from all over the country. And when breaking news happens like police chases, we bring it to you full, live, and always raw. So let's count down the top 10 police chases of 2024. We start with number 10. It was a nighttime chase in Los Angeles. We go back to January 11th, 2024. So the beginning of the year with this chase out in LA.
We have been monitoring here out of Southern California. Take a look at this footage from our Sky Chopper in that area, showing a very dangerous high-speed police pursuit involving this red sedan that you see there. It looks like a Dodge Charger, and we wanted to kind of showcase this entire chase because it got very contentious in some moments. You can see the speedometer there at the top right hand side of your screen, and this car is going dangerously fast in a pretty populated highway at this point. You can see them hitting over 100 miles an hour, trying to weave through cars and get away from police. Our partners down at Fox 11, they have been monitoring the situation, and we're waiting for more details on this incident. But you can see here that the locations, they switch very quickly because this car is just blazing through this highway. The Sky Fox kind of losing them for a second here. We're going to get another vantage point as they continue to evade law enforcement. And then there we go again. You can see there the red, it looks like a Charger, dangerously close to almost colliding with some of the cars that are already on the road, going 123. You can see there. I think that was the fastest that we've seen it go so far. But still, those speeds, they're maintaining a pretty high there because in the 80s and the 90s and some points there, clearly well above the speed limit. Trying to weave through all of these cars and not crash as they continue to get away from police. And then the thing is that we're not really seeing a lot of red and blue lights following these cars. And that's because when cars are driving this quickly, police, they do kind of call off their patrol for fear of putting the rest of the public in danger. So here again, speeds over 100 miles an hour. You can see here, it details whether they're in the carpool lane or in the normal lanes here. They're in East San Gabriel Valley, staying in that area. They weave through the carpool lanes in the middle of cars next to semi-trucks. A very, very dangerous situation. Speed still topping over 100 miles an hour, over 110 miles an hour with this car. So according to our partners down at Fox 11 in Los Angeles, their reports, it says that the driver of the red sedan was leading police on a two-county police chase along Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties. Sky Fox over the scene in Ontario as the suspect led authorities on this chase. And they're still going over 100 miles an hour. I'm working to figure out what is going on with the suspect. So apparently this driver accused of refusing to pull over the first time. Over the course of the chase, the suspect driving through parts of West Covina, Pomona, and Ontario at certain points of the pursuit, braking 120 miles per hour, which is something that we have seen here. And even now, look at that, 118. So very close to breaking their highest speed throughout this chase. This is a very developing story, so not too much information regarding the suspect. You can see up there that it's on the 60 freeway in the Ontario area, so that's inland of Los Angeles for anyone who's not too familiar with this scenario. The car continues on this freeway, again, the 60 in Ontario, just inland of Los Angeles. Braking speeds topping them over 100 miles an hour. We're getting into 115, and they just keep going up and up. as they were to evade police who are really nowhere in sight because, again, these chases are called off when the drivers are just going exceedingly quick because police aren't trying to put other drivers in danger, as what we see here on the screen. But very, very dangerous what we're seeing here. Even though the driver is kind of slowing down because of the traffic, you can see that he's really tailing the cars that are in front of them. And so just kind of all over the place here because people can brake, anything could happen, and a crash could ensue out of nowhere. But still, this car is able to weave through this traffic. And we're talking, this is kind of heavy traffic for this time. It's not rush hour, but still, you can see so many cars are on the road. This person really putting all of these drivers there in serious danger while trying to evade police. Now, the last we know from our partners at Fox 11 is that this driver apparently just refused to stop earlier on, but we're not sure what else this suspect is being accused of and what they're wanted for. We don't know how many people are in the car at this moment. Just know that this is the car in question, this red one that we have been following. It looks to be a Dodge Charger, and these are very powerful muscle cars. So no surprise that this person is going very fast. That's what these cars are made for, making the situation just that much more dangerous. And very tricky for the Skyfox chopper to continue on with a full view of this car because, like I said, you could see all of these other cars still on the road there. No idea where this person is heading. We just know that they are on the 60 in Ontario, which is inland of Los Angeles, for anyone that's not too familiar in that area. They're going pretty slowly right now. It seems that they're getting off the highway, so the speed's slowing down considerably to about 45 miles per hour, which is such a drastic change from what we saw just a few moments ago when they were topping 120 miles an hour. But here, they've gotten off the highway. They're in a more residential area. They're going to run into more stop signs, more stoplights, and undoubtedly more cars that are going slower because they're going to hit some intersections like how we're seeing here. And then the driver's door is opening, and the driver and more people are hopping out of the car, running in several different directions. But right now, Skyfox really focused on the driver of that car. But we saw in total 4 people that exited that vehicle, and that vehicle didn't even come to a full stop. They just kind of rolled out of there while it was still going. They did not brake, they did not park, and now they are running. All of them in different directions, but we are not losing sight of the driver of this car. So dangerous, running into traffic, oncoming traffic. The cars aren't stopping here, and jumping over fences here, going into what looks to be a parking lot. But the Skyfox not losing sight, and looks like someone else is running next to them. This could be possibly another person that was in the car with them. Although it did seem that they were all running in different directions. They might be going to the same point, the same end point here. And now we have lost them amongst the trees, the lights just flashing and shining on this home. It seems like a very residential area, a neighborhood where these people have gone into. And we're trying to find this suspect, but they are very much covered by the trees in this area, the vegetation there. Okay, so we really wanted to play out this entire scene for our viewers because we were a few minutes behind, but we wanted to show you kind of how this entire chase ensued. Let's get out to this live picture that we have, and it's still pretty much exactly like what we're seeing here on the screen. Take a look. So this is the live feed that we're getting from Skyfox over there in Southern California. They are still with their high beams on this residential area. So we were about a couple of minutes behind. It doesn't seem that this person, none of the suspects have reappeared from under these trees. And I'm not seeing too much of a big police presence, oh, no, you can see them there on the left side of your screen, the patrol cars And so they know the area that they need to search right now. Only 2 law enforcement vehicles, possibly some more. Yep, there we go. Possibly some more in that area. Of course, they're setting up a perimeter. And you can see other choppers there trying to provide some light for all the law enforcement agents there trying to catch these suspects. It seems that I can't really make it out because we're kind of high up. So I'm not sure if law enforcement is speaking with different agents that are patrolling this area or speaking with possible witnesses.
That was the coverage from January 11th, 2024. The suspects eventually getting caught as they were cornered in that neighborhood. We are going to continue on with the top 10 police chases, all right here on Live Now from Fox. Next up, we go back out to Los Angeles. This happened on June 26th, 2024, and it's a unique police chase. You're going to find out why at the end of the chase here, but take a look right here on Live Now from Fox.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. We do have some breaking news that we want to let you to know about. This is out of Los Angeles, California. This is from our partners, KTTV, and you can see this white Audi going very fast down the street. I do believe that we have some audio from the helicopter, so we are going to raise the audio to see what we can hear.
Through a railroad, that was something in... That was a first for me. That was definitely a first. Keeping on, keeping on. Yes, sir. Okay, cool, thank you. Keeping on here, making these moves, and back onto these very small residential streets out here. And again, those speeds not slowing down, 70 miles an hour. And I'm speechless. This is not pretend for me. Some people say, oh, being dramatic. I am not. When we're doing 100 miles an hour on side streets, there's nothing. You can't say anything. You just got to hope nothing happens. Yeah, making our way, we're continuing on. Still about 70 miles an hour right now. We're getting in a more residential area. You can see it right there. If you blinked, you missed it. That would happen to be the sheriff's department right there. That's what we just went by. Just kind of putting that out there. Another underpass. At least it came back out. I believe that's going to be Imperial. I do know this neighborhood. And continuing on, we're going to be heading westbound now on Imperial. Still, same type of erratic driving, wrong side of the road, passing a lot of stopped vehicles, blending into traffic. Looks like we're going to be getting onto the 105. This is personally just between you and I and the fence post and whoever else might be listening. I do not like this because we're getting onto the 105 freeway. This is going to get us into LAX's airspace, and this is going to make it difficult for us to track it. Hopefully it picks up the 110, goes north or southbound, but right now you can see a lot of traffic on that 105 freeway. Making our way westbound, slowing down, but it's not going to get any better. The traffic is going to be tough out here. We still have that opportunity to get on the 110 freeway. Hopefully that's going to be his choice, because the closer we get to LAX, the more the chances are we are going to be able to, we will not be able to keep following it. I'm getting information that we are live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. Imagine that, guys. Imagine that. I wish I could read along with you, because this is one of those pursuits that, as long as they're on the freeway, I probably could have a free hand here to kind of check out what's going on. Let me see if I got a notification that we are live on YouTube, because that would be great, but I don't. Let me see if I can open up the YouTube while I'm doing this, just to get an idea what you guys are interested in besides the chase itself. You can see we're still, the speeds have slowed down because there's a lot of traffic. Imagine that, traffic in Los Angeles. I know. It wants me to renew something there. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. We're live on YouTube. I don't know if the comments are disabled or something, because I got no comments. No comments. Oh, that's a shame. At any rate, we're continuing on right now. This is LA traffic. If you guys are not in LA, you're going to kind of go, yeah, well, you know, why isn't this guy speeding up? What's going on here? Must be a busy day. No, this is every day out here. And if you are out here, you're probably doing, how's he making this great time on the 105 at this time of the afternoon? Or this afternoon, or early afternoon. Keeping on there. Got into a little bit of an opening spot. I'm not going to lose them, I promise. I just kind of want to figure out where we are. Yeah, you can see it right there. You're going to have that choice of the 110 freeway. So we're going to see where he goes. It's interesting how people kind of get out of your way when you're making these moves like that, but getting into a lot of traffic, continuing on out here, and it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse as we get past the 110. Hopefully he decides to take the 110. Looks like we're going to stay on the 105 West, which is not good news for all our pursuit watchers and myself. Thank you. Thank you. Good move there. Good move. All right. Looks like we are taking the 110. And which way is going to be the big question right now. Looks like we're going to pick up northbound, getting into the downtown area. That might work as well. But I'm not sure if he's going to stay on the freeways. As long as we're in that LAX area, this is kind of one of those interesting things. If you're not from around here, the helicopter, we don't have free range. We are not allowed just to go and do what we want, go where we want. We did in the old days, but things have changed. And now we are technically in the LAX's airspace. So we can follow this vehicle northbound on the 110. I'm sure Jeff is making calls right now. And LAX is probably busy and they don't want to talk to us. And they're going to say, oh, there's police activity and blah, 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 blah. Hopefully we won't lose them. We're going to keep the best eye as we can on them. We do have a lot of good toys, even though the operator, me, might not be that up on things. But we're going to keep an eye on him the best we can. We're making our way northbound on the 110 freeway, a lot of traffic. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get into the rotation and be able to follow him on that northbound 110. They had a big, just kind of bump into that tanker truck right there. That's a good deal. I'm not sure what's holding us, but I can have a feeling it's going to be the LAX tower. I want to talk to Jeff, but I'm sure he's busy. Jeff being my pilot today. It's not just an imaginary friend of mine. But you can see it right there, and as long as we can keep eyes on him, we're going to keep eyes on him. Hopefully up. Looks like the media has been allowed to head in. We're going to try to catch up there in a minute or two. We were in a rotation, as it would be, and making his way there on the side on the emergency lane. Hopefully he doesn't get off on Manchester. I have a feeling he will. I don't know where that CHP motorcycle is going to go to help pull him over. Maybe just command presence. Maybe that's all they needed. Maybe he just needed to see some flashing lights to say, hey, we're chasing you. So at any rate, we're keeping on, and it looks like we're going to be getting off at Manchester, which is not good news for us following this pursuit in the helicopter, losing him behind that sound wall, doing what we can. But he has to pop out right there, so we'll keep an eye over there. No, that is not him. That is him right there. Of course, behind the tree. I'm surprised it didn't come to an end right there. Looks like we're making a little bit of a left turn, heading back down towards LAX. Maybe he knows. Maybe he knows. Maybe he just wants to get back on the northbound so he can get closer to us. Maybe. We'll see. Let's see what he does here. Is he getting back on the northbound? Yeah, he is. He's getting northbound, Jeff. But taking a look, making that turn right there. If anybody's a stringer out here in the Los Angeles area, that's where a lot of stringers hang out, right there in Manchester and the 110 freeway. That is a place where they all hang out. Oh, yep. What are you doing there, buddy? Yep. Yeah. Welcome to Los Angeles. All right. Kind of blending into the traffic, keeping it on, getting into the carpool lane. That's a pretty big find. That's actually the fast track out there. Trust me, if you guys get into the fast track lane and you get a ticket, pay it, because they'll hit you up for like $5 or something around there, and then if you don't pay it, it's going to turn into $200 or $300, and when you go register your car, you're going to be like, why is my registration like $1,000? Take a look at those numbers, though. That Audi picking up well into the triple digits right now, and I'm not talking about the heat. I'm talking about the drive. Just dropped it's just staying there. It's just staying there. Now we're making our way southbound on the 110 freeway. Coming back out to the 105. Not sure where this person wants to go, but wherever it is, they're in control right now. We're just going to follow along. Again, if you're just joining us and you're wondering what is this all about, that vehicle right there was involved in a felony stop in the Orange County area. When that felony stop happened, the driver got out, was complying to the commands of the officers. The driver out in cuffs somewhere. The passenger got inside that vehicle, got switched sides, clearly. You don't drive from the passenger seat. And if he is, that's pretty amazing. I understand it's a she, actually, too. I heard that somewhere that it was, I heard the pronoun she. At any rate, got out and then took over the car. And the pursuit was on, mostly on the freeways. You can see it right there. We're making our way back onto that westbound 105. And again, this is going to be one of those interesting ones. Making your way out to LAX. If you think you can go to LAX and park the car and blend into give it a shot. We're not going to be able to watch you. But I can guarantee you will be watched. Go to a place like an airport, like an international airport. They've got cameras everywhere. Trust me, brother. So, they'll and they have their own law enforcement over there. And believe me, a chase, probably something they want to do. So we're going to keep an eye on it again. We're making our way out towards the Hawthorne area right now. It says Inglewood, but I'm telling you, Hawthorne is the area. Doop, 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 yep, then we're going to go. Stuck. Anyways, well, keeping an eye on it, that's for sure. I'm going to grab a drink of black iced tea lemonade, and we're just going to have a moment of silence here while we watch the car in traffic. All right, back with you once again. Continuing on, we're going to be going by Hawthorne Airport here in just a few moments. You know what? I'm not sure. Maybe get on Crenshaw. Hopefully they'll go south on Crenshaw. That'll be the one to do. I like that guy. He's like, "What are you doing?" And getting into the carpool lane. There you go. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe the passenger's got a flight to catch. You got to get to TSA 2-3 hours early. Who knows? But what I can tell you, though, is at least the speeds are a little bit slower. Still an accident at 60 miles an hour. It's still not going to be it's not going to be good. Hopefully everybody's going to be okay. But, erratic driving, that seems to be the staple of this pursuit. Somebody might be asking, Stu, why is there nobody behind it? Why is there no law enforcement behind it? Well, one big reason would be because of the speeds, because of how dangerous it is, because of the traffic, because they can't get there. That CHP motorcycle, God bless him, he tried to keep up as long as he could. He was doing a great job, but he wasn't going to be able to pull this guy over. But now in heavy traffic, this is on the 105 freeway, making our way westbound out towards LAX. I have a feeling Crenshaw is going to be the next off-ramp, but, it says so right there, Stu. But I'm not looking at that. Just letting you guys know, I have to actually look at that monitor. My monitor has no information on it at all. I got a little crosshair. That's all I got. So, at any rate, probably not. I would have ventured to say if he was going to, not taking Crenshaw. So, not sure where we're going to wind up. We're going to go as far as we can. We're going to stay with it the best we can and see where this all goes. But again, 105 freeway westbound and slow and go in traffic. These are difficult for law enforcement as well. There's a lot of the law enforcement in the aircraft. They want their brethren down there on the ground. They want to bring this thing to an end. They are calling out this stuff not just for their own health. They want everybody to know their guys and gals on the ground where this is, what's going on, how's it happening. Hang on. But at any rate, they want this thing to come to an end. So they're probably making some phone calls. Look at this guy. He's like, I can go faster than you. I can go faster than you. I got a BMW. You just have an Audi. Yeah, that's LA for you right there. That really, that summed it up. That summed it up. All right. Well, it's continuing on. Speeds are 75, 80 miles an hour. We're going to continue. You know, the 105 comes to an end. If you guys don't know, Imperial Highway is what it turns into. It dumps in onto the ocean. Well, not into the ocean. And you know what I mean. It goes to the beach, basically. So maybe that's the plan, but I don't know why. I just don't, you kind of think that somebody that's driving this erratically at these speeds that continues in a general direction would have a destination in mind. Sadly, we can't hear their GPS or their talking to them, stay in the center lane, But it's just interesting to see other people passing a vehicle that is in pursuit. So I'm starting to wonder, are we looking at the right car? I think we are. At any rate, it's continuing on. Oh, the Mustang's not going to let that guy pass him. No. Well, center lane's not really good. If he makes his way over to the right, I'm going to really start getting worried because we're probably passed over the 405 already, so we're definitely going to be in the LAX area right now. And it is keeping on. And I'm getting news that Moy says we're live on our Facebook group as well, which is awesome. And just checking my text right now because I can't read any of your messages. It's sad. It's very sad. I'm sad. You don't want me sad. Nobody wants me sad. I don't want to be sad. Yeah. And I don't have enough internet right now to follow along. It's sad. And it's just more sad. Oh, now I have to watch a commercial. We'll join this back in a minute or two. He's hanging on that right. You see that Sepulveda Boulevard? I think that's probably what he's going to wind up taking. I don't want him to take it. Please don't take it. And if you do take it, go south. Please go south. Please go south. Please. All right. You know what? Maybe it's everybody watching right there going, no, don't get off on Sepulveda. Don't get off on Sepulveda. It's all of our positive vibes, keeping it on the 105. You see, now it's turning into the one. Maybe we're going to pick up Pacific Coast Highway here in a minute or two. So, at any rate, I want to see the pursuit. I want to see if who's Clark? Did somebody just call me a joker? My goodness, you guys. This is a tough room, guys. What do you want me to do? You want me to be more golf? You don't like the way I report? Should I just be like, now he's in the middle lane. He's keeping those speeds about 62 miles an hour, so he's just a little bit below the speed limit. But he's continuing on the westbound 105 freeway. We're going to be exiting here at Imperial Highway in just a moment. I don't see any blinkers on, so he's not indicating where he might want to go. Just continuing on the, now are we technically on Imperial Highway now? I wonder. Okay, anyways, man, I just can't. Look at that. Southbound. I like it. I don't like the slowness. I don't like the U-turn. I don't like that either. All right, they're coming back the other way, picking up those speeds once again. Who knows? Who knows where this guy is going? Continue. You know what? Let's take advantage of it. Let's see if we can see inside. I heard him say female. Somebody's probably like, hey, Stu, why don't you get a better focus? Well, you know what that is? That's all I got, brother. Or sister. I don't know who's complaining. Anyway, I saw them drinking something too. Maybe they got a little cottonmouth also. Maybe they got their own feed going on. Maybe they are doing like a Facebook Live. I love you all too. I just looked down and somebody said, that they love us. You know what? It is what it is. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. There's no doubt about that. But, following the chase is following the chase. What can we do, right? Where? Where are we live? Oh, we're on television now. Okay, I gotta tighten up the necktie and bring it down a notch or two. If we are really on live now on Fox on digital, this is a pursuit of that vehicle. It's an Audi. This is all pretty interesting. This started out as a felony stop in the Orange County area. The driver in custody. The driver got out in cuffs. They took him into custody. It was all taken care of. It was all done. The passenger apparently, I don't know, slid across. I know details matter, but got out of the vehicle somehow or got into that driver's seat, and it took off, and it's been a pursuit ever since. Been on a lot of the freeways out here, staying a little bit wide because I don't know where they went, and that upsets me. Going a little bit wider just in case they turn. Don't know where he went, and I don't think we can go any closer. Where did he go? Maybe he's underneath the car, underneath the overpass, catching his breath. Let me see. Jeff, do you have me on? Can't go any farther? He's hiding under the underpass. Okay, so we do have confirmation right now that he's hiding under the underpass. Now, this is one of those things where, on the 405, I didn't see him get on the 405. I didn't see anybody leave. I didn't see anybody leave. All right, so now we're trying to figure out, you guys watched it. I don't know if anybody was like, yeah, we did see him leave, Stu. I didn't see him leave. Saw him get underneath that underpass, and then that's where it came to a stop. Everybody else is kind of hanging. Eastbound Imperial, okay, eastbound Imperial. Let's see if we can find him. Did they say where on eastbound Imperial? From the 405. Eastbound Imperial from the 405, so it means it must be like somewhere right in here. Is that him? North 405. North 405 from the 105. Are they just shouting out things? You know, and if he's north on the 405, do you want to just do the transition and get on the other side? What happened? He's in a carpool lane. Okay, that helps. If you see him do something, or if you're hearing something, let me know. That's the skid, by the way. All right, so what's happening right now is we have to wait till we can cross the runways. We're going to try to pick it up on the other side. I'm trying to get an idea where this thing is. Okay, but I appreciate that. We're just crossing LAX now. You first. Okay, copy. Then why is everybody going north if you're saying that he's at Florence? He's right here. Yeah, I figured that out. Thank you. Let's see. All right, so that's Florence. All right, I got the shadow. You saw the shadow right there. I don't think that's him. That's a Mercedes. Or maybe that is him. Is that him? Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm looking. I don't think that's him. Where? Oh my gosh. All right. Hey, Jeff, where's the sheriff's ship? Right out my window? 12 o'clock. Okay, so he's still this way. All right. Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes is out my door. Jeff says the sheriff's ship's 12 o'clock. All right, I got to find this guy. Hey, Jeff. I just need to find the sheriff's ship. All right. Yeah, I just heard it's on flight radar. It's north of the 90. Yeah, so I don't know what. There he is. Got him. Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, so this is where he is. So that means, is that her? Was that her the whole time? Maybe we did have it earlier on. Wow. Rusty. I have a feeling that's it. Do you think that's it? Anybody? Anybody? I mean, how many white Audi SUVs are there? You think so? Do you think that's it? I think that's just an Audi driver. You know what? I have a feeling they're watching our feed. Because they were driving all normal till we got them, and then all of a sudden they started driving crazy. They were just waiting for us to catch up to them. Hey, you know what? If you're watching right now, just wave out the window. Put the window down. Just roll down the window a little bit. Oh, that was ugly. There we go. Hey, Melissa. Melissa, if you're out there, the reason why I keep the map up is so I can be able to read off-ramps and things like that. California Highway Patrol, you know that guy was just like, really? Really? Why can't I chase you? Which also kind of brings me up to another question that I need to talk to my pilot, Jeff, about. We've been flying for a few minutes. But just in case you guys didn't know, we were on another pursuit that was up in Victorville, and again, that's one of the ones that if you don't know if you don't know LA, then I'm just throwing out names. We were up in Victorville, and so we've been flying for quite some time. I'm happy to. Oh, really? Let me bring up the IFP. Hey, Michelle. Yes, I do. I don't know. I'm not. I don't talk on their air. Nope. And I don't think you will. I still think we should do something with it, but we're only going to be here for about another 15 minutes, and then we got to go in for fuel. Copy all. All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I've driven Sepulveda. I know what it's like. Nope, I wouldn't do that. I don't know why that Fox Live Now thing is always trouble for me. Does Stu have an Instagram? Yes, I do. It's Stu_Mundell. Mundel. Oh, get out of the way. Jeez, oh, Pete. Don't do that. Oh, we got a TFR on top of it? Are you kidding me? Oh, this is painful. I spent all this time trying to find it. I used all my health and hit points. So if you guys are still with me, which I don't blame you if you aren't, this is the deal. We have a TFR. Our vice president lives out here. Our vice president is in town. I saw him. I don't know where they're going to... Oh, my gosh. Are we playing this game again? Yeah, we are.
All right, everyone, you are watching live now from Fox. We continue to watch this pursuit continuing out in Los Angeles right now. You have been hearing the voice of Fox 11's Stu Mundell high up above right now in Sky Fox as this pursuit continues. And Sky Fox once again trying to locate this pursuit. And we have been seeing dangerous moments here where this suspect continues to evade police and really put so many people not only on edge out there in the Los Angeles area, but of course and safety hazards as well, as we continue to follow this along with everyone. And we appreciate all our viewers continuing to watch with us worldwide as we are showcasing this to you live, raw, and unfiltered right now of a police pursuit as Sky Fox trying to track it once again. And you heard there that they got about 12 minutes left of fuel, so that'll be an issue as well if this doesn't get resolved, that Sky Fox will have to dip out, and then we'll just have to wait for updates from the ground as well. But yeah, this is the scene out here in Los Angeles of a wild chase that has been going on, and do want to show you just some of the highlights from moments ago while we have Sky Fox continuing to wait for
this, over to the right. I'm going to really start getting worried because we're probably passed over the 405 already.
All right, so here you go. That was in the right-hand corner. You can just see some of the highlights from this chase. Left, you are still seeing it live, so if we do see the car once again, we'll go back to that live and pump up the audio for you. But here was the moment that really led police through the streets of Los Angeles. And you can see, we're going to show you a couple of highlights, some very fast moves at times, going as fast as more than 110 miles per hour as we were tracking it there along with the speed as well. And yeah, I mean, you can just see going into the shoulders, going into areas, zigzagging in and out, and barely sometimes missing not only pedestrians that were out on the roadways, but also just cars, of course, that are going through their normal commute. But little do they know that this wild chase continues on right now, and we are watching this high above. Sky Fox images showcasing this to everybody in Los Angeles, and we're pumping it out to everyone else around the world that is watching this chase all in real time. And for just joining us here, Sky Fox just trying to look for this pursuit once again, but we're showing you some of the replay on the right. And it's great to be with you, everyone, as we are looking just at some of the crazy moments of this chase as the driver just going in and out of lanes and almost hitting some cars as well. And once they do reestablish, again, Sky Fox says they only have about 10 more minutes of fuel, and then they got to go to refuel. So that's when we'll lose it once again. But let's continue to watch right now just some of these moments that happened during this really Crazy chase going in and out of the lanes, and again, almost hitting some cars as well. You could see just on the right hand of your screen just the miles per hour that was clearly visible at that time. And when he was getting those straightaways, he was really letting it rip, as you can see there, going about 100 miles per hour and then clipping off. And so we are watching it just like you are. Sky Fox continuing to try to track this. Once again, it seems like, the most trouble is when they go under these overpasses. You just don't, you're not able to locate it as quickly as you can if they're just on the regular roadways here. So we are watching just like you are right now as this one continues on. We appreciate all our viewers being with us and wanting to see this conclusion of when this chase might wrap up. But it looks like the suspect has no quit in him at the moment, and that is the hard part about it. As you are dealing with a public safety issue, you just don't know what the person obviously is going to do next. They're not obeying any traffic lights or signs right there, and they have reestablished everyone, so we do have it back. Let's go out live right now as the chase does continue. Let's listen to Stu Mundell high up above Sky Fox as this continues on right here on Live Now.
And I'll help you find contact lenses, too, if you need me. And needles, especially if they're in haystacks. As long as they aren't those drug needles. Yeah, just kind of work your way through there. Yeah, it's okay. Everybody can wait. Yep. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Okay, just getting through. And there we go.
And we continue to watch right now. I'm your host, Mike Page, as Sky Fox was able to find this suspect in this Audi once again. And we are watching just like you are here as this suspect going down these side roads was still going at a good rate of speed. And that is always the issue when they start to roll stop signs or red lights. Those are the incidents that could get really hairy, and there was a police right there waiting for that suspect, now continuing to track along on these side streets right now as not too much traffic in this area. And now, see, like I was saying, the high rates of speed continue, and that's what you worry about, because you don't know if someone could just be walking across the street. They don't know that a pursuit is happening and you have a reckless driver just barreling down on you. So those are when you get in these scary moments, especially during the intersections as well. Suspect not opting to go through that one. We appreciate that. And now the chase does continue here in the Los Angeles area, and you can see the high rate of speeds just on these side roads right now. And Sky Fox doing a great job of tracking it all, reestablishing the contact there so we could all watch along with you. Now the suspect going through, making sure that nobody was coming, and that was probably the biggest courtesy that the suspect has given during this chase right now. So we watch just like you are right here, and we are going to see, hopefully, how this will all end. We hope it's going to be very safe, but you just don't know when you are dealing with someone, obviously, that are trying to really just extend those final moments of freedom. And we're up against the clock right now because Sky Fox is going to be leaving in about 8 minutes now. So we are trying to see this one through, but you just don't know what the suspect is going to do next. So many times during these chases, we see suspects go down these side roads, maybe looking for a complex area to kind of jump off at and try to make a run for it. Those never work because not only is Sky Fox watching, but you also have police choppers up high above as well. Let's see what he's going to do next here. Continues to go straight ahead. And, so we see sometimes they look for an area maybe that they're more comfortable in. Maybe they know the area and they just try to bail out. We see that a lot of the times. And then, we see just the most random things is suspects sometimes, when they go about their day, they don't always have a plan of how they're going to get out of the situation. And we see that a lot of the times here. All right, so the pursuit continues on right now. We are watching this all unfold as Sky Fox is able to show that the police are following behind now. Ooh, doing a U-ey right there, doubling back now. And let's see what he's going to do next here as this continues on. You're watching live now from Fox, trying to bring you as many different live images from all across the country and around the world. Of course, when breaking news just like this happens, we bring it to you. And we have tossed out our commercial breaks here for the moment because we didn't want to, for anyone to miss some of this important breaking news that's happening out in the Los Angeles area right now. So no breaks until this one wraps up, or like I said, Sky Fox having to leave pretty soon here. But we watch and wait here. What is the next move going to be for the suspect here at a red light? Just going to stop. And now green light. Let's see what happens next here and where this individual thinks they want to go with this chase. You just don't know what's going to happen next, and that's why so many people, they always continue to watch along and wanting to see the end result of this chase that has been going on now. Let's check the clock here for close over an hour. That we have been showcasing it for a good part of about 50 minutes, but this has been going on now for over an hour through the streets of Los Angeles now, and here comes one of those overpasses here. That is where we tend to lose it. Let's see, Sky Fox is able to reestablish, hoping they don't just stop there right under, and then we wouldn't be able to see anything. But let's see what's happening next here. And did a U-ey there. Now back on, so we'll be able to see it come from the other side. There we go. Here we go. As the chase does continue, it was doing circles right under that overpass, putting on a little show maybe. We don't know, and we continue to follow along with it right now. Let's listen to a little bit more of Stu Mundell, high above Sky Fox.
Always love to love. If you got something funny to say, I'm always willing to read it. If you got something nasty to say, maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. Hey, look at the old speedster. Anyways, I'm waiting on Jeff. Jeff is going to make the decision here. We're going to pull the plug probably here in a moment or two. Going to go into Santa Monica for fuel. We'll try to get back up over it. But if we can, we can, and if we can't, we can't. And if you're in that car watching us or watching you right now, we got to go for fuel. Do what you need to do, and
that's how it ended here on Live Now from Fox. That car kept on going, but it was the rare moment that it outlasted Sky Fox. Sometimes that happens, and you saw the camera pulling away there, and that was it for that police chase. And there it was me, and now I'm here back out with you right here on Live Now from Fox. We are counting down the top 10 police chases of 2024. Let's now go to number 8 here. We go out to April 19th of 2024. This was a stolen car chase back out in Los Angeles. Go figure. During rush hour. Take a look right here on Live Now from Fox.
Break into that coverage because we do have breaking news to share. We are following a police pursuit in Southern California right now. What you're looking at are police officials who are pursuing this driver in Southern California right now, driving through South Los Angeles. I believe our friends at KTTV Fox 11 are over this pursuit live right now. Let's listen in.
Budlong and 36th Avenue. We're not that far away from the campus of USC, not that far away from the Coliseum and Exposition Park in terms of where we are, in terms of the streets. This is one of the older neighborhoods in Los Angeles. Many of these houses have been there for like 100 years. If you're familiar with this area, you see some folks that are out on the streets in terms of pedestrians. And you worry about that because this driver has been going so fast, so recklessly, blowing through stop signs, blowing through intersections, going fast on the freeway, clearly not afraid to hit into something, which we've seen based off of the damage. And so you worry at this time of night on a Friday, on a really nice night, weather-wise, Christine. I'm sure there are people who are out walking their dogs. You just saw some folks playing basketball there, going almost 60 miles an hour at one point. People that may be out and not expecting this coming. The other danger, Christine, in the fact that this is now a following and not a actual, pursuit with the black and whites and the sirens right behind, is that people would really have no reason to think that a car is coming like this. They are the helicopters overhead, not only the LAPD helicopter, but the helicopters from the news media. That may give people an indication that something's up, but it is different than the actual sirens that would really give everybody an indication, heads up, something's happening.
Is this driver coming to a traffic stop by a car? A car pulling into a driveway or backing out there. Slowed that car for just a second. There are two freeways not too far away. There's the 10 freeway and the 110. The suspect was on the 110 before. Is this driver no, reversing? Okay. Perhaps seeing some traffic ahead. Again, look at the people in the road there. Pedestrian. Oh, wow. Whoa. I would get out of the way there.
Do they know this person? Are they...
Well, the helicopters are there.
Right, and the looky-loos that may be watching this on the news and see, oh, that's right by my street. Do I want to go outside and see what's going to happen? We don't know the mindset of this person. Is this person armed? Are they under the influence of something? What led to all of this? So it's a good rule of thumb to not put yourself in the middle of one of these things, not knowing what's going to happen. And frankly, you could get hit based off of the way this person is driving. So if this isn't in your neighborhood, the better idea is to stay inside. And if you enjoy this sort of thing, keep watching us on TV. So another stop sign rolled through. What happens, as we know, Christine, at the end of this is that they will go through, and every one of these traffic violations, there's another one, could be added onto this person's potential sentence. So you wonder, as we've talked about so often, that people will go to a neighborhood that they're familiar with, maybe where they live, where their parents live, where a friend lives, maybe try to stash the car, go into somebody's home or something like that versus sort of a random neighborhood. Oftentimes we see people circling in those neighborhoods trying to get home or trying to get to a loved one who they may be in communication with via cell phone, something like that. We don't know if that's what's happening here, but we do know, Christine, that this person for at least some time now has chosen not to get on the 110 freeway, not to get on the 10 freeway, and to continue circling this South LA neighborhood.
Well, I'm wondering, too, with the people who were able to bail from this vehicle, are police talking to them? And then you see the damage there again to that passenger side now of the vehicle, parts of the car hanging off there. And we talk about, as you said, neighborhoods that might feel familiar to the driver. They have stayed in the South LA area since we've picked up this pursuit here. Again, this started in Hawthorne. It is a following now due to the danger of it. And we keep seeing those pedestrians on the road, the people that are standing in the street, people coming home on a Friday night. It's dinner hour. It's rush hour. Kids are out of school. And you just have to worry about all the people that are unsuspecting and could get hurt in something like this.
Right. So we're at Catalina Street and now moving on to Adams Boulevard. This is going near Juliet Street. This is the Adams Normandy neighborhood of Los Angeles. Again, for people just joining us, not too far from USC, not too far from some of the landmarks in that neighborhood, including the Coliseum, Exposition Park, Science Center, all the rest. So moving pretty quickly right now down Adams, which is a major thoroughfare in that neighborhood. We do see some people are out at the bus stop, out near the 7-Eleven and the gas station and other things. And they're all potentially in the line if this person loses control and is skidding out, something like that. Without, though, the active black and whites following this driver in a traditional pursuit, there is not as much incentive for this thing to end. You're not going to see clearly a pit maneuver if nobody's there to do it. They also run the risk when they move to following that this driver could, say, go into an underground parking lot and the helicopter isn't able to spot them, and that could happen. So we are now officially at 6 o'clock here in Southern California on this Friday night. Our thanks to Christine Devine for joining us for the 5 o'clock. We now welcome in my colleague Marla Tejas for the Fox 11 News at 6. And Marla, tonight we begin with yet another pursuit
of a alleged stolen Kia Soul. I'm pointing that out because we have been covering many pursuits of late of Kia Souls, if you'll remember, Alex. Mm-hmm. And of course, it is one of the most stolen vehicles right now. It's not a good list to be on. Hyundai and Kias are the most stolen vehicles currently. So we have another one. This is underway. Jefferson Park, our extreme nav technology up above, and that doesn't look like it's it.
Nope.
Did we lose it? Potentially, but we have been following this, and it was a full-blown pursuit, and then they backed off because of the danger, and very dangerous considering the damage that was done on that Kia Soul.
So a few seconds after I talked about the danger of not having a traditional pursuit with black and whites on the ground, and because you can lose it from the helicopter, we lose it from the helicopter. So there you go. As we pull out, you get a better sense of where we are neighborhood-wise. And you can see Gramercy Place there, some of the older homes. There it is. All right, there we go. Back on track. Nice job, Sky Fox, in finding this. It is challenging for the helicopter pilots without that aid of all the sirens, which give them an indication of where the car is. They're just looking at this small Kia Soul in the midst of all these other cars in the middle of rush hour traffic on a Friday evening. So we did see this car moving real fast earlier. At one point, 4 people got out of it. It is clear on the other side that there was some serious damage sustained on the driver's side of this, and we do see that piece of the car basically riding on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's the striping of the vehicle there, to your point, exactly that, riding on the ground. So West Adams Boulevard, picking up speed, 50-plus miles per hour, very dangerous, crossing over the double yellow lines there. And this is, that fine line that law enforcement has to walk in terms of, do we actively pursue, do we back off because of the danger to all of the innocent people out there on this Friday evening, 6 o'clock, 6:02, and this is the balancing act that they do.
And that they have a lot of experience with based off of what we've seen, not only in the recent weeks, but in the recent years as well, as we see so many of these pursuits in Southern California. So it is interesting that this person continues to stay on side streets, stay in the South LA community, and not move onto the freeway at this point. You wonder if some of that may have to do with the fact that the freeways might be jammed at this point on a Friday night, and these side streets don't have as much traffic. We're joined now by our police specialist, Tim Lynn, who spent many years in the chopper and on the ground as part of law enforcement in these pursuits, spent many years in the air covering these for local news stations here. Tim, what are the most important things that we should know about this one?
There's a lot of things going on with this one, with the way he's driving, and the LAPD and also Hawthorne PD not wanting to stay involved in it. It's just a matter of just following and hoping he doesn't hit anybody right at this point.
Well, clearly he's hit something, given the damage on the front end there. Now we're on the wrong side of the street, Tim. Making that left turn. So now we're West Jefferson Boulevard, 7th Avenue, Jefferson Park. What are your thoughts on the fact that currently law enforcement has decided to back off, but of course they do track from above?
Oh, we do talk about that quite a bit, about the tracking versus actually chasing, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. If you chase them and they wreck into somebody and end up injuring other folks, then you have a problem with the civil liability that comes out of that. And then again, if you let him go like this and he continues to drive in a reckless manner, and as you see, he's already hit people. He has a lot of damage on that left front and on the right side as he goes through these intersections without even stopping. Then if he hits somebody at this point, then they will come out and say, well, you should have been chasing him, trying to stop him, because right now all you have is a reckless driver going through these neighborhoods, and there's no indication that he's being chased. There's no sirens. There's nothing of that sort going on to warn people around him to get out of the way. So all you have is this person coming up on intersections, forcing their way in, and kind of pushing through intersections like this. And so you have a couple things that could happen on this besides just getting into a wreck. You could get into a road rage act situation where he makes somebody else mad and they start chasing each other. Then you have two people racing around the streets. But working here along Arlington and 36, these are very tight areas. And this time of night, they are all congested. So if he starts trying to hit the wrong side of the street or push his way through this traffic, it's going to end up with more likely crashing here. But obviously he doesn't care, and he's just going to push his way through and not worry about anybody else on the road.
Yeah, I mean, this neighborhood, for people that are familiar with it, is very jammed in. There's not a lot of wide streets. There's not a lot of places to go. And there's a lot of people that may be out on the streets as well, which increases the danger of this and may increase the agitation for this driver. We wonder about their familiarity with this neighborhood. Why do they continue to stay in this neighborhood when they could be going somewhere else, kind of going in circles in this South LA spot? Circles may be the wrong word. Sometimes we literally see somebody go in circles and keep going on the same streets. That's not what we're seeing here. But sticking to this South LA area as they continue to drive and continue to evade law enforcement, who have made the decision to not be chasing him on the ground with the lights and sirens, and to sort of let this person keep moving.
Hey, Tim, so originally, according to the notes here, Hawthorne PD picked this up as we're at the stoplight with
Watch out for this
innocent pedestrian going, okay, I got the right of way, and thank goodness that man is okay. So Hawthorne PD, first one to pick up the pursuit and then handed it off to CHP. So then is it CHP's call to back off? And if they do go back on into pursuit mode, is that CHP? How does that hierarchy work?
Well, as soon as CHP let it go and called off pursuit, it doesn't belong to anybody. And at this point, LAPD is aware of it because of the air units overhead. They all communicate with each other. The sheriff's helicopters, CHP helicopters, as well as LAPD are on the same frequency, and they can talk with each other from air to air. And so they're keeping each other apprised of what's going on. Now, it's up to the watch commanders in the stations to make the decision whether they re-engage on the ground with a suspect. And right now, they're dead in the middle of LAPD territory. So CHP would not get back involved at this point, would be my best guess. And right now, it looks like LAPD is not interested in it as well. And as you know, over the last year or so, they've really changed policy and procedures with their pursuits of not chasing what is a property crime. This is a stolen vehicle, as all they have the information about. And at that point, it just becomes, as I said, a property crime. The person being arrested, is going to be for felony evading. But unless they figure out who he hit or what he hit prior to this pursuit starting, or did it happen during the time Hawthorne PD was involved, that's the only charges they have pending. And right now, we don't have that information. So it's the watch commanders are going to be watching the feed from the local media on this, also hearing the call from the area units that are overhead to decide when to come back in. But as I've said, over the last year or so, not really.
This is when things get more dangerous. So now we're going the wrong side of the road, and we're going fast. This is where we have the much higher potential for crash. Thankfully, got back into the other side of the road, but now this driver getting increasingly aggressive. I mean, without the ground units there, I mean, there really isn't a whole lot that can be done to stop this thing, right? I mean, it's basically just wait and see, watch what the driver does, and hope he doesn't do anything too bad, because then they might question you and say, why weren't you on the ground?
Right, exactly. And when they disengage from the pursuit, they're not going to be waiting ahead of him with spike strips or any type of prevention like that. But, yeah, like I said, double-edged sword. You're going to get sued one way or the other. It's just a matter of how they're hoping this guy just gives up and gets rid of the car. So that's what they're hoping for, that he's just going to realize he's not being chased. He's going to get to a familiar territory and just park it and get out. So, but right now, wrong side of the street again, and going down Western here, it's a very heavily traveled street. You see he's going against traffic with cross traffic coming ahead, and just, you know, he's just lucky he's not going head on with somebody who's just trying to get home from work or from school. And also at this time of night in that area, you have a lot of people on bicycles, pedestrians, and things of that sort. But here, just right down the center divider, working his way down the wrong side of the street, passing traffic. And as you're going along, just going home, you're not expecting somebody to come down the left side of you. And if you start to move in, there he's coming up on a fresh red and going to go through
watch that
the
person.
Intersection. Yeah.
Multiple people there. Yeah, and then you also think, you know, sometimes people that may be in traffic and they're looking down at their phones, or they're, you know, busy making plans on a Friday night and may not be totally completely alert, and not be expecting somebody to be driving really fast on the wrong side of the road too. And a reminder to all of us, me sometimes guilty of this too, to, you know, when you're driving, be alert.
Well, exactly. You're going to have to keep your head on a swivel when you're driving around town, but you're never expecting somebody to come up to the stop sign and just blow right through it. I mean, how many times have you made that left turn in front of a car coming to a four-way stop, expecting them to stop? Now, this guy is not going to do that. Or coming up to a green light, you're going through and not paying attention. Here, this guy comes down the wrong side of the street and goes right through the red light. So that's the problem we're having here with this guy driving the way he's driving, is that eventually he's going to run out of luck.
What do you make of the fact that he's driving so aggressively without ground units on his tail? I mean, this is he doesn't need to do this.
You know, and people that, you know, do things like this, they're not really of right mind. You know, tell if there's some type of intoxicant on board, or they've been using alcohol or drugs, or do they have a mental issue? We talk about that quite a bit, where what causes a person to take this much risk just to drive around really fast. And, you know, I don't know if he's trying to hope the police come back in so he can run from them, or if he's just being, you know, having a mental episode or something at this point. But right now, wrong side of the street, going through here, going through the intersection. Yeah, look at the damage on the car there.
Yeah, significant damage on both sides. So for folks who are just tuning in, hoping to catch the Fox 11 News at 6 o'clock and get some news of the day, this is it for right now. This is the pursuit of an alleged stolen vehicle. It's a Kia Soul. We now know that the Kias and the Hyundais are some of the most sought-after vehicles in terms of those that are stolen. We've covered so many of these involving Kia Souls. While we are calling this a pursuit, all law enforcement has backed off, so that's why you haven't seen active black and whites tracking the Kia. Oh gosh, the guy on the bike there. Thank goodness that person is okay. We're on Menlo Avenue and West 40th Place, South LA, and we've seen the same territory for the most part as long as we've been on the air with this. And Tim, the fact that law enforcement has decided to back off, now we are at that wider view because of Skyfox. Obviously, if the person knew... Right corner?
No, that's where the car...
Okay, well, Skyfox can't hear you, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, Ellis would be in his heyday if Skyfox could hear him. Okay. Tim, so here we are. I don't know if we've lost the Kia Soul, but at this point, you know, we just can pray that they give up, or they go to their known location and surrender, or just make a run for it or something. Just get the vehicle off the road.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping for. But, yeah, they have lost. They drove out the bottom right corner of the screen there, as Alex said. So, yeah, it's going to be tough getting it back with all these trees and all this area. And also, I haven't had a chance to look at the radar to see if there's an LAPD unit overhead. But from what I'm guessing, there is not an air unit over it now, because as the pilot would do in the news helicopters, kind of key on where the police helicopter is. But right now, it looks like they've completely lost it here. So.
Yeah, we did see a pilot maybe 10, 15 minutes ago that was over it, but maybe they've lost it as well. I mean, at this point, there are basically four outcomes. One, we lose it and the cops lose it from the air, and then the pursuit is over that way. Two, the driver just gives up because they run out of gas or decide that they found a home or found another place to escape to. Or three, there's some sort of crash that causes the driver to give up. Those seem to be the potential outcomes at this point as we try to figure out where exactly this car is. Is that it?
Yeah, there it is.
Wow, nice job, Sky Fox.
Hey, you did a good job. And I'm just checking the radar. There is no law enforcement overhead. It's just all media right now. So that's why they're having such a hard time sticking with it.
Oh,
so
you're seeing some activity in the driver's side window there, Tim. Sorry to cut you off, but we hadn't seen much, and there's some hand gestures right now.
Yeah, which makes you wonder, is he telling this guy I want to get in, and are we now about to go on the freeway? It looks like we may be heading back onto the freeway. This is the 110 freeway. We have not been on the freeway since we've been on the air with this for the last 25 minutes or so. As anybody knows who drives in traffic on Friday nights in Los Angeles, there is a lot of traffic on a Friday evening on the 110. This is an area where there's a lot of different freeways coming in together, and we are now headed on the southbound way. We're near Flower Street, 42nd on the 110 freeway. We'll see how long this driver stays on the freeway.
Well, there was a LAPD ground unit right behind him as he got on the freeway. And it looks like the ground unit pulled off to the right there underneath that overpass. So now it looks like Sky Fox may have lost him again here. It's really difficult in this area with that overhead carpool lane and then the high sound walls to be able to get in there. And it's unfortunate they cannot get into the Class Bravo airspace, which is the airspace that leads into LAX. So once they get into that area, they have to back off. So that's why you're looking at such a long shot. So the camera operator having a heck of a time, the Sky Fox staying with it just because of not
Tim,
being able to stay with it.
We're hearing that he has been taken into custody right underneath the bridge somewhere. So maybe we'll get a visual on that.
That was it.
Yeah, that may have just been it. So that's good news.
All right, so that was the moment there of a stolen police chase, and then the takedown of that suspect where they were able to get that person under arrest. And we are counting down the top police chases of 2024. I'm your host, Mike Page. Thanks again for joining us here as always. Next up, we go out for number 7, September 13th, 2024. We have a really big ending to this one, a K9 arrest. Take a look back out in LA, but don't worry, not all of these chases will be in Los Angeles. Take a look.
From Fox, I'm Andrew Kraft. We want to get right out to some breaking news that we have coming to us from Southern California. California Highway Patrol in a pursuit right now of a hit-and-run suspect. Fox 11 is over this. Let's watch.
This one so many times, a lot of the law enforcement, because of the new policies, they basically will let it go. But for some reason, there is something else to this. There has to be for the California Highway Patrol to stay with this for so long. Like you said, started in Barstow. Love the Barstow area, don't get me wrong, but that is so far away from here, and it has made its way all the way to this location. Going much slower out here as we're on the 5 freeway northbound. Montebello is the off-ramp. Commerce is the city. If you know somebody that might be driving out here, I know it might be dangerous to call them or text them, but maybe you might want to let somebody know, especially if you know that they're on the northbound 5. Hey, you know what? There might be a chase coming up. Just give them heads up. But a lot of these folks, they're getting the information firsthand. California Highway Patrol, lights and sirens are going, and it is actually clearing the roadway. There you go again. And you can see that expedition kind of getting up a little bit of speed as they're making their way through the Commerce area. Going to be passing the Citadel here in just a moment.
Let's take you back to a moment we saw just a couple of minutes ago with this suspect in that white Expedition going off-road, getting off the Lakewood exit right there, and then getting right back onto the freeway, leading CHP officers to go off-road as well, following this vehicle, not letting this suspect go, and clearly the chase is still on. The good news, though, we haven't seen any collisions, as I've mentioned, but clearly erratic driving, as you see right there, going off-road after after getting off the freeway there and then getting back on. Stu, you mentioned a destination in terms of, does this driver have a destination in mind? Maybe this driver is going somewhere that they are familiar with, knowing these freeways, so it's clear that perhaps there's a purpose in where the person is going towards. We don't know that as of right now, but that is always the big question. And again, Arizona license plate, not clear what that means either.
Right, Arizona license plates. A lot of times these might be rental cars. We see that quite a lot. Looks like we're maybe taking another off-ramp here. You know, I don't think nope, we're not. Right through that Gore point. You know, California Highway Patrol is not going to just kind of walk away from this if this vehicle gets off of the freeway, say right now in the Southgate area. They're not just going to be like, okay, well, you know, not on our freeways. We're done. We'll just clean our hands of this and walk away. They're going to stay with this, and maybe they might hand it off to a local agency, but a lot of times we've seen it in the past. California Highway Patrol is going to follow this to the end. That vehicle's still making these little bits of turns out here, kind of blending in, but that's not what they're doing. Just trying to navigate a lot of this traffic. It is Friday traffic and definitely not Friday light. You can see it right there. I'm going to keep a little bit of a wider shot. You know, the emergency lane is always wide open, and it apparently is what she likes to drive on, but right now staying in that far right lane, you can see those speeds picking up once again. That truck, you got to wonder about the fuel economy. How much gas do they have? There's all these questions, and I think that's one of the reasons why viewers like to watch a pursuit. They want to know. They want to see how this ends. They want to figure out what did they do. It looks like we are taking an off-ramp. I don't think we're going to go to the Citadel, but it looks like we're going to get into a lot of traffic. This is one of those spots. I know this off-ramp. I know this area, and it made a pretty good choice right there, making basically a U-turn, coming back southbound here, and we're going to be on Telegraph. This is, again, a nice wide open area. California Highway Patrol going to stay right behind it. But those folks, if she starts running red lights, this could become very, very scary for a lot of folks down there. That is a big, heavy SUV. There's also the Commerce Casino. Hopefully they don't decide to pull into there. I'm going to try to keep control of that camera. Sorry about that. Hope everybody took their Dramamine. But you can see it right there, getting into that center Gore point. Speeds are really starting to pick up once again. But the law enforcement right behind it, and of course that helicopter not going to let this thing get out of its sight. Hopefully Skyfox can do the same.
That's right, the CHP helicopter, Sheriff's Department helicopter tracking this vehicle, and we know that there are at least 3 black and whites on its tail. You see traffic at a standstill and that driver running the light right there. That could have been very dangerous, but you see traffic on both sides, and this driver totally disregarding that, going in the other lane, head on to traffic, and then running through that light. Thankfully, no collision here. We do not want to see any loss of life or injuries or any innocent drivers being impacted by this, but clearly that is very erratic driving right there. And this driver, where are they turning onto at this point?
Well, we just made our way onto Washington. I drive this area not a lot, but I'm very familiar with this spot. And you know what? Some of these streets out here, I don't like to drive it at freeway speeds, and I'm not being chased by freeway speeds. It's at regular street speeds, and I'm not being chased by anybody. It can get very confusing, but again, she doesn't seem to be driving like I said, maybe going to a destination, maybe not. Made our way into a neighborhood now, but those speeds not slowing down. That stuff always kind of bothers me, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers as well. Hard turn right there. I think she actually played a little bit of rubber as she made that turn. Didn't see that fishtail. But look at that. 50 miles an hour, that big, heavy SUV in a small neighborhood. Another hard turn right there. That truck, it definitely has some sort of stability control on it. No fishtail at all. And that was a pretty fast turn, and that's a heavy vehicle. California Highway Patrol, they're staying with it. Ooh, right through a stop sign right there. Again, they're not keeping track of this stuff. They're not like somebody's not sitting down there going, oh, they ran a stop sign. Oh, they ran a red light. But when they do it, what I'm concerned about is somebody else might be in the area. There might be somebody just walking, riding their bike. Who the heck knows? But when these cars are moving at 50 miles an hour, running red lights out here, that always is very concerning for law enforcement, definitely all the viewers as well. And again, you can see it moving along, making their way back northbound. We're going to be on Washington Boulevard. This is a bigger street, but traffic today, making another turn. Maybe she's trying to get back to the freeway.
Oh, it's so concerning. concerning when they drive into a residential area like this, blowing stop signs and street lights. And we are getting to the point, 2:15 right now, schools letting out for a lot of schools in the area in the next half hour to hour or so. So hopefully this will come to some kind of a conclusion before there's a big threat in those neighborhoods. But clearly when she first turned onto Telegraph, I was hoping and hopeful that it was more of an industrial area, as we've seen around the Citadel, but not so much where this person's going, more so in the residential areas at this point. And you're looking at that late model white Ford Expedition maneuvering pretty well in those high speeds around those turns, making fast, quick turns right there, trying to evade the black and whites, but clearly they got their sights on her.
Got her sights on her. We're going to have to move Skyfox just a little bit because of that sound wall. Again, she's riding that emergency lane right there. Now we're going southbound 5. So we were doing north for most of that drive since we've been on air just about. So now we're turning around and going southbound. I'm going to cross out. If this is a bingo game or this is one of those ones where we're just checking stuff off, I'm going to cross off destination unless you missed her destination. But it looks like we're just turning around and now we're going the opposite direction. We're going to be in that emergency lane. You see it right there. And the speed's slowing down just a little bit, but look at all that traffic. And that California Highway Patrol, you know what, I didn't grab the shop number. That's that number on that roof to make sure, see if this is going to be the same person that entire time, that same driver. But if it is, boy, that guy's going to get a gold star when they get back to their base, because I tell you, they've been doing a fantastic job keeping up with this suspect and also being safe. Looks like we're going through it. There was a green light, but we're doing that on again, off again, a little bit of a rope-a-dope. Another California Highway Patrol, you know what, he's probably just sitting there making sure people are doing the right thing with the the HOV lane. But today maybe he's going to get a little bit of a pursuit action, squeezing on. Not a good choice. Look at all that traffic right there. So if that emergency lane goes away, not 100% familiar with it, but if that goes away, she's going to get stuck in that traffic. That might give the California Highway Patrol an opportunity to do something. But you know what? What can they do? They can't put themselves in harm's way. They can't put themselves in front of that vehicle. A pit maneuver, not with all these other cars around. Doing a little bit more off-roading right there. But, you know, the good thing is, Sandra, every time they hit those curbs, I'm always thinking to myself, how good are those tires? How did she hit that curb? You know, maybe she'll bend the rim. Maybe she'll crack the rim. Maybe it'll pop a tire. But right now, though, looks like this pursuit's continuing. And southbound 5 is where we're at through Commerce.
Wow. And clearly people don't understand or realize the amount of training that these CHP officers undergo in terms of how to drive. It sounds like a basic thing, but it's a completely different tactic and skill when they have to pursue a driver like this, who's erratic, who's a threat to society, who's dangerous, and driving at high speed. So these CHP officers are trained for hours and hours, knowing what to do, how to maneuver, where to basically protect the public, and how to pursue suspects like this who are a threat and who have, in fact, perhaps done something worthy of an arrest. So clearly this is a skill that is not to be taken lightly, because, again, the hours and hours of training that goes into knowing how to do this, it is an art and a skill, especially here in LA, when you consider how long these pursuits can last. So initially, just want to let our viewers know this pursuit started at about 1:31. The initial want is a hit and run in Barstow and Ranchero. That's according to the CHP and the information we're getting into our newsroom. And then there we go. The suspect took off, and so a pursuit began. And so far, they have not let up on this suspect, who has gone northbound on the 5 and then back south on the 5. So clearly not sure what this driver intends to do, but thankfully we haven't seen any collisions. And we have seen, though, erratic driving at high speeds and also going against traffic, running stop signs and traffic lights. So a big concern for the community down there.
big concern for sure. You know, California Highway Patrol and all law enforcement officers that are involved in these pursuits. Pursuit training is very serious. Those officers talk about multitasking. A lot of times they are actually making calls on the radio, saying where they are, keeping an eye on other options that they can take while they're chasing that suspect, and also making sure that the public is safe. They do a lot behind the wheel. That suspect, all that person is doing right now is driving fast and erratic. And again, of course, she doesn't want to collide with something, but, you know, in that same breath, it could happen so quickly. And if we're making our way right now on Telegraph, you see the traffic out there. I want to say it a little bit tighter just because of when we go through these lights, but that one was green. We did about 2 red lights there just a few moments ago, and look at that, getting a little stuck. Hopefully they don't get into that parking garage. But this is kind of the thing, Sandra. A lot of times we see these chases. A lot of times they're suspects. A lot of times they know, oh, let's go to LAX. Let's go to this parking garage. Let's dump the vehicle. This person doesn't seem to have that type of mindset. She's basically just driving fast, staying away from the officers, playing a game of keep away, which again is not going to last very long, because eventually the California Highway Patrol is going to follow this vehicle to wherever it goes. If those cars stay behind it, or if that helicopter follows it, some law enforcement is going to keep an eye on it for sure. But right now, I believe that was another red light. Thank goodness there was nothing going on right there. California Highway Patrol right behind it, 2 vehicles, and again that one is, I believe, has been behind it since we picked it up at that 91.5 split. And that vehicle, let's take a look at some of these speeds. I want to get up close to it and just kind of get you a real number. So 60 miles an hour right now on Atlantic. This is, now we're in the East Los Angeles area. This is we know that it's going to start getting very tight out here. The traffic's going to become a lot heavier, and of course a lot more pedestrian traffic as well. You can see it right there coming up to another, probably a red light. But this is an area where you have sidewalk cafes that we see right there. You have street vendors. You got some construction going on. This is going to be an area that gets really tight. Pedestrians in this area, I always worry. But this big SUV continues to move along. That female driver, hit and run, minor hit and run, and this is going on. I wonder what is really behind all this, and I wonder if we're ever going to really find out. But we know that we're going to follow it as long as we can. Hopefully that suspect is going to go into custody without any type of injury to herself and or anybody else. As we go against traffic out here, looks like we're running another red light. It's just, you have to wonder, why is this happening? Why is she doing this? Why? But, it is one of those ones where we're just going to watch it, keep an eye on it. California Highway Patrol doing an amazing job staying behind it. East Los Angeles, unincorporated. They do have the sheriffs out here, but some of this area is actually patrolled by California Highway Patrol. We'll keep it, and that was one of the things, too. We talk about it during the chases. There's a sheriff's vehicle right there. Believe me, he's not blindsided by that. He knows what is going on. He's been listening on the radio. They're all talking to each other, going across the median and into oncoming traffic. I don't know if those cruisers can do that. That's the reason why. There you go. We were talking about pursuit training. The one that's behind them, that's one of the reasons why they do that. Because if the front one has a problem, can't get there, you know what? My buddy's going to be able to scoop around and get there. And it's a K9. Oh, maybe we're going to get some dog action at the end of this. But right now, we're going to keep going. The pursuit's still moving. East Los Angeles, well established out there. I wonder if we're going to get to Boyle Heights in a few moments. But that white expedition this morning, or this afternoon, still going. And that driver determined to stay away from law enforcement.
Yeah, the majority of times you'll never know why a pursuit happens or begins and starts and ends, right? You never know the mindset of these drivers. We follow these and just hope and pray that nothing bad happens to the innocent public and to life and property, basically. And it is such a dangerous situation when you're in these communities, in these neighborhoods. Again, approaching pickup time for a lot of students and families out there. And then you see a high-speed, erratic driver like this. Who knows what they're thinking, where they're trying to go, and why they're doing this, but clearly a threat to the neighborhoods out there. But the hopeful thing here, from what I see, is because she is off the freeway, this driver could perhaps, there could be a point where CHP could throw down the spike strips, perhaps do a pit maneuver and stop this vehicle.
Well, Sandra, we've all been watching a lot of pursuits. We live in Los Angeles. How can we not? But the thing is there's got to be a lot of stuff that lines up. The stars have really got to line up for them to do throw out that spike strip. Right now we're in an area. I'm just kind of looking. We're back in the Southgate area, so this is a spot where it's going to be the sheriff's department. Could they get involved? There's a possibility, but the car has got to have the police or the sheriff's vehicle has got to have the spike strips in the trunk. The person driving it has to be certified, and then the opportunity has to be there as well. So there's a lot going on. It isn't just like law enforcement, everybody's got it, we're just going to jump out and throw a spike strip on the ground, and that's going to be the end of it. And also, it is a CHP pursuit, so they got to be talking to in this case, the sheriff's department. So there's a lot in the mix right there. I'm guessing right now we're just going to keep following it. Sandra, you kept bringing up the schools, and I'm seeing all those. We just passed 2 school buses and 3 school buses. Makes me think there might be a school around here, and that's another thing. We just don't want to see anybody get hurt, heaven forbid a child. But there you go, kind of went a little bit against traffic and a little bit back onto the road. If anything, I'm seeing this vehicle moving just a little bit slower. So I'm wondering if maybe the adrenaline's starting to wear off for the driver or something's going on, because the speeds, you know what, I'm just looking at the numbers. Maybe it just seems like it's going a little slower. They're still going about 50, 60 miles an hour here on these surface streets. And also, we don't know. Is this her vehicle? Is this, is it a rental? But I would venture to say there is some sort of navigation. Any of these new vehicles, especially a big, nice SUV like an Expedition, probably has some sort of navigation in there. So if she's trying to get back to some location, say a freeway, thank goodness for that. It wouldn't have been bad, but it would have been something right there. And that's coming to a stop, almost rear-ended that vehicle, probably getting out of the way for the lights and sirens. And, that's, all law enforcement say that. When you hear those lights and sirens, get to the right if you can, but be predictable if you can. And so I'm sure they're hearing those lights and sirens, they're moving out of the way, but that suspect, she's just thinking, okay, I can get by. But you saw it right there. There were 2 close calls. But again, those speeds way too high for these roads. And again, we're just keeping an eye on it. Just don't want to see anybody get hurt.
That's right. Let's not only talk about speed. Let's show you moments ago how erratic this driver was, in fact, when trying to evade the CHP officers on this person's tail. Let's take a look at how this driver got off the freeway, then off-roaded, and then tried to circle back and got back on the freeway, trying to lose the black and whites that were tailing this driver. But clearly they know better and are still on the case here. So clearly this is the erratic driving that we've been following. We've been seeing not only the high speeds here, but this type of maneuver, and that is something that shows the capability of this suspect that they're in pursuit of. Traffic not stopping this driver either. The driver going on the wrong side of the street against traffic, blowing through stoplights right there and stop signs. So a very big threat at this point, and it's really, really disconcerting to see this driver go past 4 or so school buses that we saw in that neighborhood, in these residential communities, with school, I'm sure, being let out soon, and parents probably trying to pick up their kids from school to start their weekend on this Friday, or perhaps these children filing onto these school buses. So clearly this is something that CHP wants to put an end to make sure this driver who is driving erratically and dangerously gets off the streets, Stu.
That's right. That is the ultimate goal for the law enforcement. They just want to bring this thing to an end peacefully. Ultimate goal for Skyfox is just to keep an eye on it and make sure we can see where this goes. Going around a building, this is the Monterey Park area. I would venture to say we are getting into an area that has a lot of city buildings and also law enforcement buildings out here, which is unusual in itself that the suspect is going through this area. But you can see that vehicle. There was very little traffic on that road. This looks to be a a little bit more industrial, more businesses here. And when I say businesses, I mean office buildings, things like that. They're making their way behind those trees, but we're going to keep an eye on it for sure. California Highway Patrol, they're down there on the ground. They're doing what they can to keep that public safe. Coming up to what looks to be, it was stopped because there was a California Highway Patrol officer there, keeping an eye on traffic. That shows you the coordination and the ability that law enforcement have. Oh, geez.
Gosh.
Look at that. Man,
okay.
She got some air on that. Oh, she didn't like that. Did not like that. Doors are open. She's out running and the law enforcement's got to be like right there. Of course they are.
Right.
And getting out running. You know what? I got to give it to her. That was probably the smartest thing she could have done, especially after that move. That truck got all four wheels off the ground there when it hit that bump. She's basically running to the back seat. There you go, taking her down. And there's the canine. There's the canine. But you know what, buddy? Oh, the poor dog just wanted to get a little bit of work in, but not today. And you got her in custody. She practically ran into the waiting arms of the law enforcement.
Straight to the CHP patrol car. That's right. She knew this was the end.
Yes, but you know what? When she got air like that, really, truly, of all this crazy we saw this afternoon, that was probably the smartest and best thing that suspect could have done was jump out of that car, especially after she got air like that. And again, law enforcement, California Highway Patrol, I would venture to say that guy in blue, I would say that guy came all the way from Barstow. She's going to have a long ride back to being in custody. But again, coming to an end out here, and we're going to be in the East Los Angeles.
Take a look at that takedown back on September 13th, 2024. That is our number 7 wild police chase out in Los Angeles with the help of the K9 to take down that suspect there. We are rolling on right here on Live Now from Fox, taking you to the top 10 police chases of 2024. Next up, it is not in Los Angeles. Our first one featured on this list, not having to do in LA. We take you all the way out to Maryland. This was a unique one because it was a stolen tow truck, if you believe it or not, a stolen tow truck leading police on a chase. Take a look right here on Live Now from Fox.
To this police chase, this police pursuit that is happening right now. Looks like a tow truck is on the run here. Let's take this.
As you can see here with that chase in Maryland, this suspect not caring about any rules of the road there and also just slamming into cars as well as this pursuit continued.
Out of Prince George's County in Maryland, the Prince George's County Police Department saying this, that they have confirmed a state-owned vehicle, you see it right there, was stolen. Police were asked to assist in locating it. However, you see there, they are in the environs and they are trying to at least get the vehicle to stop. The police confirming the vehicle was stolen from the College Park, Maryland area. So this is coming to us from Fox 5 DC Sky Fox overhead. It's been following the vehicle as it travels down 95 South. If you're familiar with the area, it looks like it's going into this cul-de-sac right now. It's about 6:15 there on this Friday. We have seen this state-owned vehicle there crash into police cars. You see 2 cruisers standing by right there. So in the meantime, we do want to rely on our friends at Fox 5 in D.C. They are over this as well. Let's watch.
It's
appears to be like an emergency roadside assistance truck, from what I can tell. It has its flashing lights on. A bizarre situation playing out in Maryland, really. Maryland State Highway police there trying to track this vehicle down, get him to stop. He has been making all kinds of turns on the highway, on the roadway, hitting multiple cars and people that we hope that are okay as we're watching this through our Sky Fox view here, just following it. Right now, of course, it's dark outside. That's also going to make this even more challenging. We hope that there's no pedestrians. It looks like he's come to a stop.
Yep.
Let's see if he gets out.
But again, he's at a cul-de-sac, and we saw, obviously, this person has no clue where he is. And again, we don't know who this is. We don't know if police know who this person is, and where this potential, where this suspect may be going. As he tries to get away from police, but as you see him stop right now as the...
Maybe he's thinking as to what to do.
Right.
You know, does he get out? Does he run up that grassy hill? Obviously, there's police cars probably facing him right now that we can't see from this view, but...
Right. And as it gets darker, Sharon, obviously, all we see now is, you know, the emergency lights and the flashing lights even more so. And as... We were really concerned about any pedestrians as he was jumping sidewalks. They will be able to see those flashing lights, those emergency lights better, because this is a dangerous, dangerous scene. But now, as you see the suspect stop there in the state vehicle.
And as we've seen time and time again with these police chases, I mean, this is where it can get very violent potentially, right? We don't know if this person is armed. He obviously does not care for life, as he has hit multiple cars. He's hit a police officer, patrol cars. Those police officers that are chasing him right now from Maryland State Highway Patrol, they are very cautious about what is happening right now.
A rookie stunt driver.
The only way for him to even get out of there would be to ram those troopers head on, or those officers head on. And so if he is boxing with a number of police officers, we can't tell if their guns are drawn, if they've got him there.
So this was the situation back on February 16th of this year. And once again, showcasing a stolen tow truck, leading police and state highway officials there on that chase. There was a standoff for quite some time. And then let's just show you the moment as police take down the suspect.
This is amazing, because usually with these police chases, police kind of stay far back, but it looks like he might be on the ground. It looks like we're seeing potentially officers handcuffing this man. They just went in. They went guns drawn. They got into that vehicle. It looks like they have him. This driver.
All right, great job by police back there getting that suspect out of that tow truck, and definitely taking him to jail, because that was a suspect that was really damaging some cars out on the roadway. All right, we are going to continue on right here on Live Now from Fox as we continue to countdown to the top 10 police chases of 2024. We are now at number 5, so we go from Maryland, you guessed it, all the way back to Los Angeles. That is where some of the biggest police chases that are all caught on camera happen. And we are taking you out to this wild one that ends in a foot pursuit. Take a look at this one here on Live Now from Fox. Let's go to the coverage from Fox 11 Los Angeles. Viewer discretion advised. And now let's take their coverage right now.
You know, you stop trying to wonder why, Stu. Just kind of watch it. But this driver is continuing to try to get away. These high speeds, though, very dangerous. I'm pretty worried about public safety and, of course, that driver as well.
Yeah, public safety, absolutely. I mean, it just takes one moment, someone to step out onto the roadway. And when you're talking about someone going on the wrong side of the street, wow, look at that maneuver.
On the sidewalk.
Yeah, on the sidewalk. Yeah. I saw him several times going in and out of parking lots, too, to make quick exits. So the LAPD is trailing this guy, right? So we've got the LAPD. Is the CHP involved as well?
You know, with CHP not involved, they were going to try to hand it off when it was onto the. You know, it was. I don't even want to poke any kind of fun at this one. This one is just too dangerous. You know, that hard turn into the oncoming traffic, high speeds, and plus that LAPD, they kind of got dropped back a little bit. I'm not sure if they're dropping out altogether. I can tell you the helicopter not letting this go. Another red light. I thought he was going to try to join traffic. He actually weaved his way through there. That little car just making its way this afternoon. That driver, you know what? If he's got luck in the bank, he is running low right now. They continuing on, but now at least he's looking forward for most of the driving. Let me go a little bit wider. I'm trying to hear on the scanner if they actually are staying behind it. I know that helicopter's still above it, but again, you got to wonder, why is he continuing to be so reckless? Why is he keeping up these high speeds? There is nobody behind him. That guy in that center, in that gore point, you got to wonder what that guy was thinking, having this car rushing towards him. There we go. LAPD back into the chase, and keep, you know, matching the energy of that driver. This is really something to watch this afternoon. LAPD, those guys trained in these type of pursuits, trained for high-speed driving. That driver, that vibe, probably not so much. And we saw how poor the performance is at high speeds if that vehicle tries to stop or even tries to make a quick lane change. We've seen this thing slide, and oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, he's just gliding. He's gliding. It's almost like you're watching someone on the ice, right? The way he's just gliding in and out of lanes there.
Yes, definitely, and it also kind of gives you this feeling that he may have no control, like serious control of that vehicle, especially at those high speeds. I am concerned clearly of all the public involved, and then after that, definitely about that driver. Keeping an eye on him there. This is one of those times where we can really get a close shot of him. You can see him. It seems to be a white male behind the wheel, and you know, just driving. And you know, when I do those tight shots, every now and then you'll get a glimpse of what's flying by him. Those are other vehicles. You know, if right now we're down to about 50 miles an hour, that's probably, he might be trying to do a pit. That officer might actually be trying to do a pit.
Awfully close to the vehicle. He is matching the energy of that driver. You know, sometimes when the chase gets too dangerous, we see police back off, right? They don't want to endanger the public. But in this case, it's interesting to see that the police vehicle is trying to basically catch up, perhaps do a pit maneuver on this vehicle. And there
Definitely.
you go.
Just, you know, maybe it's a pit, maybe it's command presence. Who knows? But that what's going on there? What's going on there? Making a turn. I don't know if he's making a U-turn. We got some trees in the way. I guess he's continuing on, just following the LAPD. Let's see what happens right there. Yep, there he goes. But you know, you can see him just moving around, very agitated in that driver's seat, just zipping around, looking back and forth. It also looks like it might be a bicycle or a wheelchair in that back of that car. Just more questions, and we'll just keep coming out here. But this driving, you know, I'm just saying, if he's got an angel with him, that angel's going to be having working overtime, keeping everybody else safe, going on the wrong side of the road again. And, you know, you're right. You just kind of wonder, LAPD so many times in the past, because of the policies and the changes, and stolen vehicle, it just, you got to wonder, why are they continuing on with this chase when, you know, a lot of times they could just follow along. You know, this is one of those ones, driving across the curb, getting onto one of those little side streets right there, making his way into a neighborhood. He is starting to put a little space between him. Well, I guess not. One of those LAPD officers not even giving up at all. But it does look like maybe he's looking for a place to pull over. We saw him I just saw him make that little kind of like getting over to the curb type of thing. Maybe this is an area that he knows, but I can tell you, LAPD getting very, very close. A little bit of a dead end. There you go. Out and running.
And the car's still on.
And running. Yep, car's still going, but it's kind of bumped into some gating right there. Wow, look at this guy go 15 miles an hour. I love Sky Fox and Attack. He's holding it. I couldn't do that. I'm out of breath just watching. And he's continuing on. Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what? That wheelchair, definitely not for him. If that was in the back of that car, I can tell you that. And, you know, this is one of the ones. He's running through that neighborhood. LAPD not going to be able to follow with a car. I can hear the helicopter calling out streets. They're going to keep an eye on it. This might turn into something something else. And the speeds of this guy, look at this. Like, oh my goodness. He's slowing down a little bit, but how long has he been running? Almost 30 seconds, maybe a minute flat out. This guy has got some energy. That is for sure. LAPD, though, I hear the ship in the other ear. He's calling out locations and streets. I know there's a black and white might be getting close by. Now my concern is if he tries to get into somebody's home. What? There's an LAPD officer behind him. Oh my gosh! How far has this guy been running? Oh, this is you know what? I think in the end they're just going to call up. Tasers out for sure. And he's going to tase him. Tase him on the run. Boom! Boom! Right behind a tree. Always behind a tree. There you go. But he's here. They got him down. I do not think they tased him. But you got this guy on the ground. What a run for those officers. I just hope they get the credit due to them for getting this guy into custody. And again, thank goodness, no injury.
What a takedown by police there, using the taser and then getting that suspect after a short run after that stolen car pursuit back out in Los Angeles. Well, we are keeping you up to date on the top 10 police chases of the year. We are now going out to number 4, and it's not in Los Angeles. We go out to the Peach State of Georgia for a stolen bus pursuit. You heard that right there. A stolen bus pursuit that happened back on June 11th of 2024. Let's show you that coverage right here on Live Now from Fox.
News story, a very interesting one, as we're just getting this over the feeds as a potential high-speed bus chase there in Gwinnett County, there just in Atlanta, Georgia. I do want to put up our helicopter shot, and you can see police in pursuit. The bus there just hiding behind some of these trees here, but this is a high-speed chase. We don't know exactly what's going on, but you could have seen some of the bus potentially running people off the road. They're going down this, doesn't look like a highway, but just like a street in a suburb as the bus comes, looks like it's slowing down. We don't know exactly what's going on, but let's see if you can read what's going on. It potentially says emergency on the front of that bus. You can see that in the very distance, but plenty of police with their lights on for this bus. As it's kind of a commercial bus there, not going necessarily high rates of speed as of yet. Let's take you out to our Fox 5 team as they're covering this. Well, they just shifted to the other major breaking story out of that county, so we're not going to go to them just yet. But this bus chase taking place, and you can see the kind of tire strip there trying to blow out some of the tires, not slowing down despite the police's best efforts, authorities there. And it's a busy day, just about 5 o'clock on the East Coast, weaving through traffic right now, going through some of these stoplights, police closing off some of these streets, almost hitting that car going into the gas station. So also viewer discretion is advised. Don't know who was on this bus, who was driving this bus, what led up to this, but it's a breaking news story there out of Gwinnett County in Georgia. So we're still trying to get as much information as possible here about this, but a breaking news story on the ground. And we're going to carry this in full because it's obviously very, very interesting, but it is driving very recklessly. They're trying to throw some of those spike strips down, but it was not, did not hit them. Now they're behind these trees there as well. So I don't know exactly what happened. You can see potentially police in pursuit behind of it. 4 or 5 cars in total, as it's a breaking news story there in Gwinnett County, just outside of Atlanta on this kind of local road, 2-lane road, rolling through a potential stop sign, stop light there. You can see the parking lots, but this is unusual, a bus on the ground in Gwinnett. All right, we're going to stick with this here as we're just doing this live, raw, and unfiltered police chase involving a bus. We do know that the bus says on the front, emergency. I don't know exactly what is happening here. if something is potentially wrong with the bus or if there is someone taking over the controls of the bus. But it is continuing to go down these streets. They tried to throw a spike strip. It looks like the tires are still inflated, at least what from my perspective here high atop, courtesy Sky Fox, rolling down the street as the people on the other side of the road potentially do not even know what's going on, as it is about rush hour 5:01 on the East Coast, as people getting off work, going home, this to begin the month of June. So going down some roads with the wooded area, police in pursuit. We've seen potentially trying to have some pit maneuvers, other different tactics to slow this down, and it is unusual. We see pursuits sometimes out of Los Angeles, sometimes out of Miami, but this one, a high-speed chase involving a bus in Georgia. You can see the police going in front of them. Now you can see smoke coming out the back of this bus. I don't know if that's something to do with the engine or the tires. Might be slowing down, might be trying to have some pit maneuver. And you imagine they're trying to kind of assess the situation on the fly because they don't know how many people are on board. Upwards of 50 potentially if this bus is full or something. Now it is going into kind of the median area. I don't know if it's going to stop, but it's avoiding these cars. It's slowing down, so it doesn't appear to be anything necessarily mechanical, as they would be going at the same rate of speed. But now they're on the other side of the two yellow lines, going the wrong direction. How dangerous this is for those people on the ground there. As you can see, swerving out, potentially losing some of the power on the right side. It looks like some of those tires are flat, hitting cars. Oh my goodness, viewer discretion is advised as this bus chase continues on, weaving through, and this is an extended vehicle, longer than basically any other car on the road, so it's hard to maneuver through. It's wild that it made it through all of that traffic. A few fender benders along the way as our feed now going out just a little bit. We're getting high atop here. I don't know if this is a change shot or kind of a replay because it almost feels like a replay. But still high atop. We're just going to assume this is live as of right now. We're not getting any word from our Fox 5 team on the ground about this. As the pursuit continues, number of police officers, they have seen the bus hit several patrol cars. They don't know what led up to this. I believe this is maybe just a replay because we might have lost the feed. All right, I don't know where the feed was.
Pictures because this could end at any moment, although it's been going on now for quite some time. Here's what we heard from APD. Officers responded to 45 Ivan Allen Jr. Boulevard Northeast in Atlanta in reference to a dispute on a Gwinnett County Transit bus. Upon arrival, the bus fled from the location. Currently, officers working to stop that bus so they can investigate. Well, this was quite some time ago. Since then, that bus at a high rate of speed sped up I-85 and actually rammed into several Georgia State Patrol cruisers. Got off at Jimmy Carter Boulevard, as you say, headed eastbound on Jimmy Carter Boulevard, hit some more cars there. We saw police deploy spike strips. Those spike strips did not work. They then turned on to Lawrenceville Highway and most recently went into the left lanes. Now it looks like that bus has stopped. This is the first time we've seen that bus stop in the entire chase that's been relatively slow speed so far. So let's see what happens here. This, I believe, is Flintstone Drive. That was the last I heard. This is Sky Fox 5 above the road there in Gwinnett County. Help me out here, folks. I hear you talking in the newsroom. Perhaps you saw something that I didn't see. Have they made an arrest of that person? Did we see somebody get off?
People get out of the bus with hands up.
Okay, so we've seen some people get out with hands up. I am looking down on this just as you are.
From our vantage point here in the studio, we can see that there are people being let off the bus.
There we go.
It looks like one at a time, and they have their hands up behind their heads.
Exactly.
It looks like they are being told to get off the bus from what we can see.
The question is, who was behind the wheel of the bus the whole time?
Right. Initially, Tom and Courtney, there were some reports that came into the Fox 5 newsroom saying that shots had been fired. That has not been confirmed by police, but again, we can see people getting off that bus, as you say, with their hands raised. My view here in the newsroom is not exactly ideal, and of course the trees are in the way as well. But it looks like police have this under control. As we widen out, you can see the extraordinary police presence. At one time, I saw at least a dozen local police cars and Georgia State Patrol troopers following this bus at relatively slow speed after it got off of I-85. But again, we don't have any idea what the dispute was, but it started again at 45 Ivan Allen Jr. Boulevard. And when police arrived, whoever was behind the wheel, whether it was a Gwinnett County bus driver or not, we don't know at this point.
And so one can only wonder if those were passengers that were already on the bus. You say, Russ, that this started with some kind of skirmish on board the bus?
That's what we understand. I mean, it's described simply as a dispute. So, and now we see some more people.
SWAT car.
Is that a SWAT car right there, Cal?
Yeah, they have guns pointed at the vehicle.
And they have guns apparently pointed at the bus. So the implication would seem to be that whoever was driving that bus, the person who's the suspect that they're after, may still be on the bus. Is that a reasonable conjecture, Cal, do you think?
There are a number of people behind the bus. I think those are the people that went off with the hands raised.
You're looking at this just like we are, but we have another vantage point from a traffic chopper as well that shows a lot of police congregated behind the bus.
Yeah, tough to see because it's in the shadows, and we did see those several people, presumably innocent bystanders with their hands on their head, get off the bus, and that SWAT vehicle in front of it so that it can't go any further. What's happening now, though, is sort of anyone's guess as our helicopter hovers above the situation.
You know, one of our executive producers, Josh Voigt, informs me that it appears that SWAT has entered the bus. So obviously, well, I shouldn't say anything is obvious at this point, but it would appear that things seem to be under control. Obviously, this chase ended 3 or 4 minutes ago after extending for, I would say, at least 15 or 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta up I-85 again at a high rate of speed. At one point, this bus rammed some Georgia State Patrol cruisers, and then once it got on the side roads, Jimmy Carter Boulevard, Lawrenceville Highway, Mountain Industrial Boulevard, that's sort of the path that it took.
Let's see
crossed over into the left-hand side.
Have someone in custody.
Take a look at that. That was the takedown of the suspect. But what a wild ride that must have been for the people that were on that bus. Definitely not the ride that they were thinking about on that June 11th day that they thought would quite happen. They thought, okay, it's just going to be a normal bus ride. And then it turned out to be a really scary one. But thankfully, no one hurt there. And they did get the suspect under arrest like you saw right there. All right, we are continuing the countdown, the top police chases of 2024. I'm your host, Mike Page. Always great to be with you. And for number 3, coming up next, we take you out not to L.A., but let's go out to Miami. This was a police chase involving an ATV, a wild one going at fast, high rates of speed. Let's bring that to you right here on Live Now from Fox. Monday, after just some big stories coming out of New York City, let's go out to not L.A., but to Miami for a police chase. This is an ATV police chase as this rider is taking police here on this chase. Viewer discretion heavily advised right now, and we appreciate all our viewers continuing to watch with us all in real time here as, so many times, it's not uncommon for us to get police chases in the L.A. area, but this one happening in Miami and not having to do with a car or a pickup truck or a truck that we've seen in sometimes, but not even a motorcycle. But we have an ATV here chasing that is actively going on, and you can see the high rate of speeds that are happening, and we continue to bring it to you on live now from Fox. And we saw it and we see it a lot of the times where these riders will get off the highway there, try to get on these side streets, try to evade the police, and then find an area to ditch this thing and just run off. And that might be what we're seeing right now. But if this guy is going to start running red lights, that is when the major concern is going to happen, because then you have a real recipe for disaster when it comes to some major accidents. So that's why we put up the viewer discretion advised right now. We are waiting to see what will happen next with this rider, and it looks like no stop in them at this moment here as we continue to watch in the Miami area right now. And let's see. Okay, now we're going in. Okay, does a U-turn. We're going in oncoming traffic, but then he pulled the U-turn there. Police still behind. And here we go as this rider continues to evade police at this moment, and that was a really risky move there, because we saw that rider get onto oncoming traffic there and then have to pull the U-turn with still not getting hurt by a vehicle that was coming at him. And at this point, you don't know if the rider is armed at this moment. We continue to watch along with everyone here on Live Now from Fox. And we are learning that for those wondering, this charge, when this suspect does ultimately stopped, one of the charges will be aggravated fleeing, which could be punishable by up to 15 years in prison. And that is why that there are lights and sirens activated, and the driver is driving at a high rate of speed right now. And again, you don't know if there's any weapons, though, with this suspect. So we flash the your discretion advised. Now the rider going into the median area here, going past and blowing through the red light. And now let's see if they'll be getting back on the highway here maybe. Let's see, we just lost in that underpass where this guy could have went. So let's see here as Sky Fox is able to zoom out. There he is as we get back on, and he is all over the place right now. And again, we're tracking it just like you are here on Live Now. Let's see what this suspect is going to do next with an active police chase going on in the Florida area, in the Miami area, I should say better here for so many of you that are watching here along with us as we're getting more traffic here. But again, this is very, very dangerous as obviously this driver is out and exposed to all of the elements. So if he goes sideways, that could end up really, really bad. And again, you don't know what's going to happen next. And now the rider continuing to evade police, going up and down and all the way around. Here we go. Let's see where we're going next here as ATV. Okay. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You heard of doing U-turns on side streets, but what about the highways here? That is getting really, really dicey, going and continuing to evade police right now. And wow, we are seeing some risky moves here by this suspect where at any moment we just don't know what's going to happen next. That's why we always invite you to continue watching along here with us. Could it be where he's running out? Could it be he's getting slower now? Or is he looking to get back on? Yeah, he wanted to. Okay, what's going on now? Oh, wow. Wow. Looking to do another U-turn maybe? Let's see. Okay, now just doing circles here. Might be out of gas. Who knows? Okay, we're at a standstill right now. Viewer discretion heavily advised, everyone. As the suspect waiting for that traffic to clear. Gosh, you know, these people are going 50, 60 miles per hour on the highway, and you're trying to go in and out. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Dumping it, maybe? Almost dumped it. Okay, it could be out of gas here. It could be out. I don't know. Maybe he dropped something. Maybe he dropped something there. You don't know. It was hard to see with that median right there, but no. Continuing on, oncoming traffic. Yeah, you don't know what happened right there. Was that a drop of some sort? Let's see. We have oncoming traffic. This is very, very dangerous what the suspect is doing. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Viewer discretion heavily advised, everyone, as this driver is on oncoming traffic right now, going the wrong way. And, wow, was still able to dodge all those cars there that were coming at him here. Oh. Here we go, everyone, as we continue to watch along. This is getting tense, everyone, with a capital T, as we are watching this driver really be hugely reckless at this moment. And this is, again, in the Miami-Dade area where it originated from. And this continue with the ATV rider that continues to evade police. We got a lot, folks, going on here today on Live Now from Fox. And, again, we thank you for all our viewers joining us here on Live Now with the breaking news here in the moment, as this chase continues to go, and this rider continuing to make some very risky choices, but continues to happen on Live Now from Fox, and we're bringing it to you live, raw, and always direct here as best as we can. You see just how we go from different shots. Here we go. Viewer discretion heavily advised. Here we go. There's the takedown. There is the takedown from police. And we were able to get that here for you on Live Now as police do the takedown here of that suspect who... And that was definitely a wild one. Yours truly on the call right there back in March 25th of 2024. That also was our top police chase viewing on YouTube there with over 800,000 views. So thanks to all our viewers out there that continue to watch with us. Okay, we are down to the final two top police chases of 2024. Number 2, we are going back out to Los Angeles here, and this is definitely a moment that was a dangerous police chase. Happened on January 19th of 2024. Let's take a listen right here on Live Now from Fox. Right now, so we are going to hand it over to Stu Mundell, high up above Fox 11 Chopper. He is doing some play-by-play right now. We will listen in right here on Live Now from Fox.
Kind of getting very close to the Bravo. Again, this is the digital. People probably like, what is a Bravo? That is going to be the LAX airspace. And when they get into the LAX airspace, well, it's going to be tough for us because we're not allowed to go there. And that's one of those things that you might want to reach out to me about, because I am not happy about that. Anyhow, you can see the LAPD airship that just went through the shot. That's going to be the black and white bird. The vehicle speed's picking up again. And you can see it. You can count it right there, getting in about 70 miles an hour. This is on residential streets. This is kind of the driver's MO. He kind of speeds up, then he slows it down. Speeds up, and then slows it down. Again, the stolen vehicle, that's the report. And what's in the back there? It does look like a motorcycle or some sort of mini bike in the back. Don't know if that was there when that vehicle was taken. But again, the driver of that vehicle apparently doesn't own it. LAPD, they want to bring this to a stop, and of course safely. But right now they're venturing to do more of a kind of keep an eye on it. Made a quick turn there, didn't get away from us, and probably we didn't get away from the LAPD either. The good news is we're staying away from that Bravo, and again, making a wide turn, making a U-turn. And it's like, hey, I didn't hit you the first time. I'm going to try to do it right now. Oh, little rope-a-dope action right there, LAPD. That's the first black and white we've seen in a minute, getting up behind it. But again, that Dodge truck, I'm just saying, that's a big motor. That's a lot of truck right there. They're kind of known for their high speeds. Right now, this driver is utilizing that. It is very, very dangerous. And you've seen it already. How many pedestrians have we seen? How many red lights have we run? I haven't been keeping track myself, but I can tell you it's just about every intersection that we've come to, there's been that kind of situation. That truck moving along right now, we're back up onto Adams. I'm sorry about that. I had to actually take a look. Adams Boulevard. This is a major street out here in the mid-cities area, and it's going to take us back towards the Coliseum. And that's the direction we're heading right now. Look at those speeds. This is not what we want to see. And again, luckily, that was a green light. That truck moving along at a good clip. Let's just get a little wider, see where the LAPD is. Oh, they've fallen back behind, and don't worry, I'm going to push right back in. But you can see that. Just look at the speeds compared to all the other vehicles out there. Wrong side of the road, and we're pushing 100 miles an hour. These type of things is something that I don't ever want to see either, kind of cutting off a vehicle as he's making his way back over to the right side of the road because there's a little bit of a divider right there. That shadow, that's going to be the LAPD airship. Now, the speed's definitely picking up. This vehicle moving along, and again, stolen vehicle. Don't know about that motorcycle in the back. Really not sure if that's even part of this story right now. But really the interest for me is keeping the public safe. Wrong side of the road, solid red is what we've been talking about. Almost every intersection, solid red, making a turn now, heading back towards the 10 freeway. Again, every time he goes through one of those intersections, it's not drama for me. It is just reality. I get worried. Slowing down a little bit, going back into another residential neighborhood. Sometimes they give an idea where these vehicles were stolen from. Sometimes they'll say stolen from, and they usually say a division of the LAPD. Probably got a little error right there. In this case, we didn't hear where it was, and the only reason I bring that up is this could be an idea where where the vehicle was taken. They might be heading back to that area that they know. At this point right now, we're staying out here, South Los Angeles. I would call this almost Adams area, mid-city, but high speeds, little neighborhoods out here. You got to take a look. This is just really, truly a small neighborhood coming back up onto Jefferson. Jefferson, another major out here, and it looks like we're going to be continuing eastbound. And again, that truck getting back onto those major roads, you can see it there. He's putting that foot down. That truck really starting to speed up. Again, the ground unit's backing off. I think he's slowing down. It looked like that nose was dipping. That's a solid red again. Solid red, making his way through there, and pedestrians on the sidewalk. This is what I'm saying. It seems like every time we get to a solid red, there's that problem with the problem. It's not a problem. It's something that we should be really worried about. You've got those pedestrians walking in those crosswalks or nearby. LAPD, they're working to do what they can. They've got 2 helicopters on this. Going to try to get that shot for you guys. You got one down low and then one up high. Either that or there you go. You got one up high and then you got one down low. Making a turn there. Sorry, I didn't want to lose it, and I might have. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? There he is. There he is. There he is. I got him. I got him. I got him. There he goes, made a turn back into these, into the residential neighborhoods. Maybe he feels safer here, but I definitely don't, especially when we see 50 miles an hour through these residential streets out here. And I'm not going to show you 2 helicopters again. I'll trust you that for anybody watching us right now. Take a look, making another turn there, making our way eastbound, staying on these very tight residential roads. The only promising thing that I might bring up is a lot of times when you get close to the 10 freeway, there are going to be some dead-end roads out here, or a cul-de-sac that might give the opportunity for the LAPD ground units to either catch up or make that move to actually lock this vehicle down. Again, some of the folks watching are going to say, well, why is there no LAPD behind it? Well, because of these high speeds and these dangerous maneuvers is the biggest reason why. And as far as the helicopter calling it out, well, I can almost assure you, if this vehicle comes to a stop suddenly, there are going to be a lot of officers just appearing out of nowhere. They are close by. They are all listening to the radio. They all want to take this guy into custody, and so they're staying in this area. Eastbound Adams, as you can be taken through another intersection, at least that one was a green light. Making our way over to the 110. That's going to be one of the crosses coming up here soon. Not super soon, but if he stays on this road, we're going to be getting into the University Park area, over by USC, and also by the 110 freeway. Doesn't seem like this guy likes, or gal, likes the freeways. We saw a little short bit on the 10 earlier on. That's when we saw those speeds really up high. Another solid red, wrong side of the road, making his way over here, trying to just weave his way through there. And again, University Park is where we're at. This vehicle continuing on. I believe that's going to be USC. We got the space shuttle nearby. Right now, we're not going to take a look at that. We're going to keep an eye on this pursuit. That's a big Ram truck. That's probably, I would venture to say, newer than 2007, maybe closer to, I'm going to take that all back. This is probably like a 2020 or newer. And again, we've watched that performance on that truck. He has put that foot down. And whoa, look at this. Big intersection, a lot of vehicles, and we're making a southbound turn here, and I believe we're going to be on Figueroa. He's making his way back over to the freeway. He has got to know that that helicopter is not going to give up. It's one of those ones where you kind of always, I get that question. What is he thinking? Well, right now he's thinking that he's probably going the wrong way on a one-way street, because that's what he's doing down there. It's one of these ones where will he get away? Yeah, of course, we've seen him in the past, but the problem right here is all of that. These people are just driving along down there, minding their own business, and then you've got this Ram going the wrong way, high speeds, wrong side of the road. It is just beyond dangerous. Whoops, sorry. I was looking out the window. Focus, Stu, focus. We need to focus, and I'm not talking about the actual focus. I mean focus on your job. Here we go. He's going to be going right underneath us. We're going to hold this shot, no doubt, and I believe he's going to be on Grand. But the good thing is he's making a northbound move once again, so he's kicking us out of the Bravo, out of that LAX area. Another red light, and another unsuspecting driver probably hitting those brakes thinking, what is this guy doing? Because that's what I'm thinking, and I've been watching this the whole time. Continuing on there, we're going to be northbound. I believe we're on Broadway. So if you don't know the area, Figueroa, Broadway, those are the two mains that take you through the downtown Los Angeles area. I'm going to talk with my pilot, Mike. Mike, do you have me up? Okay, if he gets into downtown, just try to stay right over him. Don't worry about me, but just try to stay right over him. Well, we made another weird turn right there. You got some people on scooters. We're making our way back underneath the 10 freeway, so we are making our way to downtown Los Angeles. And this is one of those ones where I'm really worried that he's going to start zipping and zigging through these buildings out there like you see right now. That's not what we want to see. We want to be able to see that vehicle through these corridors. Making another turn there. I believe we're going to be going eastbound once again. And now we're going to be on 16th Street. So this actually parallels the 10 freeway as well. It's going to get really congested up here. I can tell you that for a fact. Oh, doing a little sidewalk surfing, are we? That is unbelievable. Making another turn up to the north. We're getting into the districts out here. It's going to be Fashion District or other, and I can tell you it is going to get super tight. And again, what's he running from? That helicopter is going to be watching him. It doesn't make any difference. Go fast, go slow. There's no officers behind you. And again, the traffic's just going to get worse and worse out here. Making another turn. It's going to be difficult to follow him right there. I'm going to keep peeking through the alleyways. But the traffic, this is what I'm talking about. You can see it right there. He's probably kind of stuck behind that building. There he goes. He popped right out. And again, this is one of those spots where it would be advisable to maybe have an officer in the area. This would be an area where maybe you could block him in, but again, I'm just being an armchair law enforcement. I have no say in any of this. Here we go, coming out to a major intersection. Again, solid red, but at least he's picking a bigger street, and it looks like we're going to be heading... Copy. All right. You know what? I haven't heard anybody talk to me on the IFB, and I have no IFB. I have no IFB, everybody. Everybody's wondering what IFB is. That's infield broadcast. But anyways, I don't have any IFB. I have no IFB. Copy. Okay. I'm hearing something about decisions. And I have no IFB again. Anyways, continuing on here, and this is going to be, you can read the street names, but these are like very, very tight streets, and we're going to be kind of in the East Los. I heard IFB for... copy all. I'm live on the air. Sorry, everybody. I do not have any IFB. If you're in edit base 17, I think it is, I'm not going to have any IFB. Just letting our people know. Another sharp turn right there. Another very close call. Since you guys are just joining us right now, I'm going to do a little recap. That is a stolen vehicle that we're looking at, and it's been in pursuit probably for about a good 15 minutes or so. It started out where we saw it, started out on the 10 freeway. Looked like he was going to pull over. Then he basically just kind of hammered it. 100 miles an hour for a little bit on the freeway, got off, and it's been on surface streets ever since. This driver making many, many poor decisions, wrong side of the road, a lot of close calls where it gets very, very close to a lot of pedestrians out there. Every red light we've come to, he has not slowed down at all, making his way underneath the 10 freeway. This is going to be a tough one for us. We'll keep an eye on it. There's a lot of places he could possibly go to. Does look like he's deciding to stop, but LAPD is continuing eastbound. There he is. The LAPD, they are close by, but they are not right behind him. This is what I've been saying. They've kind of gone into a tracking mode type of situation, and they basically, the ground units have backed off. They are close by. If this does come to an end, they will appear magically very, very quickly. Another tight turn right there, and you can see this vehicle continuing just to weave its way through the downtown Los Angeles area, heading eastbound into the East LA area. Copy. We're continuing on out here. We're going to make our way. Copy. You can see that one LAPD airship right there. There's actually two of them that have been following this. That's how dangerous this pursuit has been. Making another turn into traffic, and it is so busy and so tight down here. It's just amazing that all these other drivers have been responding so well to that driver inside that pickup truck. At some points, you just got to kind of think to yourself, what if that's a loved one of yours just driving along, and you've got this guy in this large, full-size truck just barreling down the street on the wrong side of the road, making his way northbound, and we're still in the districts area, so we're kind of staying away out of the Sheriff's Department area. Now we're working our way. It looks like we're making another turn. Well, we did make another turn. It doesn't look like it, but we're heading back into the downtown area, or that general direction. Again, the traffic is just going to get worse and worse if he stays in this area, because this is the districts out here. Very, very busy, smaller roads, older construction, and again, a lot of pedestrians out there. That's going to be the 10 freeway, and it popped out the other side. Mateo is the street. Anybody can read that, but Mateo is the street that we're on right now, and this is another one. A lot of industrial work out here. You've got those big rigs. You've got folks driving, a lot of people parking for work, and it makes the streets just so tight. And every time he gets close to somebody like he just did right there, believe me, I cringe inside the helicopter. Again, this pursuit continuing on, and LAPD, you might be watching right now and saying, well, where are they? They are close by. Another solid red, and this wouldn't be the first time we see him on the sidewalk. He drove probably a good half a block or more on the sidewalk earlier on when the traffic got too tight, making his way again. And whenever those speeds get into 70 miles an hour on these streets, you just got to think to yourself, what is that driver thinking? Because I cannot tell you what he's thinking at all. Again, nobody behind him at all as far as law enforcement. That helicopter definitely above, going to keep an eye on it. Skyfox, we're going to do the best we can as well. If he gets into those buildings, I'm a little panicked myself, but right now we're staying in the districts, and you can see what I'm worried about right there. You lose sight of that vehicle. Again, wrong side of the road, solid red, and just continuing on like this is the side of the road he needs to be on. Maybe the guy's from Britain, who knows? But in any case, you shouldn't poke too much fun at it, because this type of driving is one of the ones that where we see those tragic endings, where we see somebody get hurt. And again, continuing on, another pedestrian. We've seen so many of those. Copy all. I thought somebody was telling me to let the anchors talk. You can see it right there, knocking over some stuff. That's the first time I've actually seen something where they've actually got so close. People running out of the way. So maybe this guy's getting a little tired. Sometimes we see that after these, you get that adrenaline rush, and that adrenaline starts to wear off. You start feeling extremely exhausted. This person making poor decisions constantly out here. Another person, another pedestrian with a child. I mean, it wasn't really close, but I'm telling you, it seems like every time he goes through an intersection, there are pedestrians there. Coming up on the wrong side of the road, a solid red light, somebody making a left turn, and so is he. He's making a right turn. Again, staying in these very, very tight roads. We haven't seen this guy slow down, so you can't say, well, maybe he's looking for a place to jump out, because we haven't seen that. Haven't seen anything like even vaguely like slowing down, like checking out a neighborhood. Why turn? Don't know what that was all about. There you go. That's how you bring this to an end. You say the guy's not going to jump out, and he's going to jump out. LAPD's right there. They're driving behind him. This is one of those times where that guy's probably thinking, I should have stayed in the truck. Running into a business right there. Just stop right here. Going to stay a little wide to see if he pops out the other side. LAPD, they're going to be doing the same thing. That officer right there probably getting instructions right now to stay where he's at, just in case he pops out the other side. We're going to pick up an orbit as well, but this is where we last saw him, running inside this business. Again, this is going to be in the downtown Los Angeles area, near the districts, and of course you guys can read it right there. That's going to be Pico and Paloma. Officers making their way inside. Don't know how that's situated in there. I don't know if that's going to be warehouse and offices, but you can see right there one of the officers holding that corner. So this might become a standoff. Hopefully they take that suspect into custody. I'm going to listen on the scanner. I'll be back with you guys in just a moment.
All right, that was Stu Mundell, high above. Take a look at that recap right there. Back on January 19th, it was a dangerous one where that suspect goes into that garage type of area. Unfortunately, there was a shooting where the suspect did die there. So unfortunate as that police chase continued on, and the suspect going inside that garage ended up in a shooting. All right, everyone, we are now down to the top police chase of 2024, and it has to be out in Los Angeles. That's the majority of where these chases take place, but you got to stay for the finish of this one, because when the suspects get out, and I say suspects plural for a reason, you'll see why. It's going to be like, wait, how's this happening? Let's take a look to the number one police chase of 2024. We go back to July 4th of 2024 and let freedom ring, right? Well, not for these suspects that went to jail that day. Take a look right here on Live Now. Yours truly with the call. Live now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page. Happy 4th of July to you. We want to go out to, though, breaking news that we are following. We're just getting this feed in from Los Angeles. There is a police chase going on right now, and we are taking you here in the Los Angeles area. Viewer discretion is advised, everyone, as this vehicle is going very, very fast right now. So, again, viewer discretion is advised, but as this is a holiday, of course, there's not that many people out on the roadways right now. So this suspect has a lot of area to maneuver right now on these freeways. It'll be interesting to see what this suspect decides to do next here in this situation. We're hoping that the individual will come to their senses and just want to pull over and end this thing peacefully, because you just don't want to risk the lives of all the commuters out there. They might be going to a party, to an event, and you just don't know that a chase is going on until this guy is just zooming right past you. So, yeah, very, very scary situation that is being played out. Again, viewer discretion is advised here as we take you along for this journey here, as we try, like you've been seeing, we try to bring you the very best live feeds that we get in, raw, live, and unfiltered, all right here. So we are now learning that our Fox 11 Los Angeles team is now covering this chase. Let's go out to their coverage right here on Live Now from Fox.
Eye on it. It made its way southbound from the South Los Angeles area, got down into the harbor, was on some side streets for a little bit, but basically just made a big circle, got back onto the 110 freeway north. Now, the units on the ground, the sheriff's department, they're in surveillance mode right now, but the helicopter definitely still over it, and units are actually northbound on the 110 freeway. They've just fallen way, way back. Now, our assignment desk, I'm sure, Sandra, you might actually know what the actual WAN was. We were too busy trying to, if I'm just finding out it is a GTA, it means a stolen vehicle, but they've stayed with it. So it makes me kind of wonder if there's a little bit more to this than we usually see, especially with the sheriff's department. A lot of times they'll just kind of opt out when it's a stolen vehicle, especially at some kind of high speeds. What's interesting right now is some of other vehicles, that black one right there, passing, and then of course that Kia Soul basically riding that emergency lane there just for a moment. Not sure what that was all about. But again, there are no units there are no cars on the ground with lights and sirens alerting any of the public. There's just somebody right now driving in the traffic. The speeds have been really up and down. At some points lower than the freeway speeds, and sometimes we just saw a little bit faster. But right now, definitely keeping an eye on it. They want this person in custody. And is it a pursuit? I would venture to say this is more of a active following.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't know, Stu, is that there are a lot of these type of quote-unquote active followings that law enforcement may pursue or that we in the media get tipped off on, where there's a stolen vehicle, but perhaps there's no real engagement of an entire pursuit at this point. I mean, just a little bit earlier, we were following another vehicle, but then you see law enforcement kind of disengage in that kind of pursuit, making it a different type of situation. But right now, as you mentioned, they are kind of keeping an eye on this silver Kia, and again, it is presumed to be stolen. That's why they are following this, but there might be much more to this story than we know, obviously. But so far, Stu, from your vantage point, and you've been following this for just a little bit now, have you seen any kind of real erratic driving, a threat to the public here?
Well, we saw some just live just a few moments ago. We actually saw that car getting up on the emergency lane. Maybe it got off the freeway, meaning off the road into the dirt for just a little bit there. Now, California Highway Patrol might be getting into this. I just heard the Sheriff's Department talking with the CHP. They might be getting into this now. We're northbound 405. That's going to take us over by LAX, and everybody knows that LAX area. But, Sandra, you did mention it. Skyfox has been on 2 other chases just this afternoon. One of them crashing on the 101 freeway over by Glendale, and then another one was a red Prius, which they literally just kind of let that go. Oddly enough, that one drove by the other one on the 101 freeway, and that's when we heard about this. So it's been a very busy day this morning for police activity and especially with pursuits. This one right now slowing down a little bit. I'm not sure if it's because of traffic up ahead. I'm going to get a little bit of a wider shot, but definitely making its way northbound on that 405. I'm starting to worry about getting over to that LAX area because, when they get over there, it's going to be difficult for us to follow. Sometimes they don't even let the law enforcement helicopters into their airspace because of the commercial airliners. But right now, still driving along, it is definitely holiday light, that is for sure, or what I would call almost pursuit type of traffic, kind of wide open, and these people that are running have that ability just to keep those higher speeds and just to keep it moving on the freeway. But again, this time the Sheriff's Department not letting this one go. So it makes me wonder. That might be something else going on. Jeff, my pilot, just told me that there's a black and white coming up behind it. I'm not sure if that's going to be the Sheriff's Department or the California Highway Patrol. Hopefully I don't lose it. We've done that in the past. But that definitely looks like the Sheriff's Department right there in the carpool lane. Looks like our friend here is using that emergency lane again, and no reason, right, Sandra?
Yeah.
Could have totally been. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I see the blinker on that. Is it the hazard or the right-hand side blinker? I think both hazards are on, right? It seems like kind of giving people warning, maybe that, I don't know, there's a situation going on.
I would venture to say if he's here, there he goes. He did that for us. He just wanted to get off that wall so we could keep a better eye on him. No, it looks like he actually has the left turn blinker on right now. But, is he making, he made a right turn. Look at that. This guy is very crafty, using that left turn blinker and made a right turn. Maybe that's his idea of trying to elude officers. But believe me, the helicopter, a little smarter than that. You saw right there was an officer on that on-ramp, and again, not engaging right now. So I'm kind of really wondering what is going on. Maybe there's some sort of miscommunication, but this vehicle definitely starting to drive a little bit more aggressive. Northbound 405, you see it right there. And as we're inching our way closer to LAX, I wonder if he's going to get off the freeway, maybe take the 105, but right now, we're just northbound on the 405.
Yeah, and I know LAX really is troubling for you because there are flight restrictions around that area, so to be able to kind of follow this vehicle, and even for sheriff deputies to follow overhead, it is difficult because when you get into that area, there's so many rules and regulations for you, Stu. But also, I noticed on the roads the last couple of days or so, because of the 4th of July getaway, people are out at odd hours, because maybe people took the week off, have taken time off, and people are driving a little crazier than normal. And this is a situation you don't want to get into because there is such a heightened awareness on the roads right now. There's more law enforcement out there. They even said that the day from, I think, starting yesterday until Monday or at least Sunday, that there are going to be more patrols out there. Everyone is looking for speeding and drunk drivers, and you got to be really careful on the roads. And here you go. You see erratic drivers out there doing things we don't know what they're doing.
No, definitely. It just is this. Look, we might be getting off the freeway here. He's fooled us in the past, so we'll take a peek and see what he's doing right now. He's pretty much committed. It's but these higher speeds, those sharp turns, and then you got people parked down there. I always kind of worry. Looks like he's going to make a right turn, even though that left blinker's still up. No, he's actually making that left turn right there. And what's he doing? We're just getting off to get back on. There you go. You can see those law enforcement vehicles. Those are the ones we've been talking about. And, you know what? That was a smart move. That one officer right there, he should get a gold star because he's actually going to get ahead of that vehicle. I got to give him a gold star for sure. But in the meantime, I was showing you that. I almost lost the Kia Soul. But you know what? He makes it obvious because he's going to get right back there on that emergency lane. Don't know what that's all about. But continuing on in the emergency lane right now, and law enforcement, they are in the game today. That is for sure. Making their way back onto that northbound 405. That car's still going along here, but again, you really kind of wondered if they know a little bit more about this driver than they're letting on, because usually these kinds of stunts and these kind of reckless driving, and just for a stolen, they might let it go, but in this case, they are sticking with it for sure.
And you see his MO now getting on and off the freeway, trying to elude the law enforcement following, and gosh, that was close, where one officer was in front of him.
Whoa! That Kia Soul really starting to pick up some speed right there. And we've seen that in the past. I've actually seen that many times on these chases. These suspects will get onto those off-ramps, and we all know they make those sweeping turns, and that, you get used to those higher speeds, and then you just don't think about it. We saw it right there. I almost thought he was going to lose it, but he definitely got that rear end broken loose. Now we're picking up some more speed again. I'm going to bring up the speedometer. I took it down moments ago because of this. Red light. This is actually starting to get a little bit away from the kind of playful chases that we like, and more into these dangerous type of situations. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. He's really starting to pick up these speeds out here. He's running a number of red lights, and again, this is really the whole dynamic has changed right now. And of course, the helicopter's staying above it. We're making our way. I would venture to say we're getting into the Hawthorne area right now. And again, Hawthorne PD, they may get involved, and they have a different policy on pursuits. We might see them get in, maybe get a little bit more aggressive, but right now the sheriff's helicopter making those calls, and the dangerous situation coming up a little bit more up, getting into a residential neighborhood. Sandra,
this is really,
just gotta wait and see.
But this is so terrifying because I know families are out barbecuing, they're having block parties, they're in their neighborhoods and enjoying the 4th of July. by. Oh, he's stopping. Okay, Stu, you could see a number of people getting out of that vehicle right now, running. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in all in hoodies. What do you know, Stu?
Yeah.
Here they make a mad dash.
Definitely running. They're really starting to move out. And probably not the smartest moves right there, but they're all sticking together. You know, I was expecting a bunch of hamsters to jump out of there. That's the Kia Soul joke. But you see what happened. He's got a bunch of folks, and I guess somebody got stuck right there helping out their buddies. You know, the deal is right now is the helicopters, us and everybody, and law enforcement, they all have these, have all this tracking. They're jumping into windows. I'm just hoping this is somebody's house that they know.
Right.
This is definitely an apartment building. They're in there right now. The sheriff's department, they're actually calling out that address. We can give it to you as well. But right now, this is near 129th and Jefferson. And again, this pursuit coming to an end with the suspects just stopping and making their way into an apartment complex out here. The actual address, I just put it up. You guys can probably read it yourself. It's 4084, and I believe that's going to be on Jefferson. But again, a wild ending to that pursuit, and they're all sticking together, which is interesting in itself, jumping into a back window at this apartment.
It makes you wonder. Obviously, they knew where they were going. They knew to jump the fence there and go into that apartment building. So obviously, they're aware of this neighborhood and where they're going, perhaps, right, Stu? I mean, also, can you see the vehicle right there? Is it just in the middle of the street with the doors wide open? Oh, there you see law enforcement right there going to enter, perhaps, the apartment.
Yeah, you know, they're getting the calls from the helicopter above. That's how they know where they need to be and for this. And they, you know, we're hearing them talking to that sheriff's unit, so they know that they're inside this apartment. Again, once they ran inside there, the dynamic of this changes once again. You don't know if those people are armed, or they don't know if this is an apartment that they know. So there's going to become more of a. They're going to give them the opportunity to come out. They're going to do what's called a call out, and if they don't come out on their own, this is going to turn into a standoff. And is what most, you know what, I am just really happy, Sandra, that it has come to an end with nobody getting hurt. Those high speeds at the end really did get me worried.
Yes, absolutely. Again, with so many families outside enjoying the day off, having block parties, barbecues, and you never know what could have happened if that vehicle was pursuing high speeds in this residential area. All right, so there you see them doing a call out. Hopefully they will get these 5 suspects that they have been pursuing for this stolen vehicle. That's what we know so far. And this pursuit ending right there on West.
A couple days ago after
they set up a containment just in case those suspects do run out. You can see a couple of those.
And that's the way it ended there on July 4th for the number of those suspects bailing out of the car there, and you saw them going into that complex, but they are eventually all caught there on July 4th there. Not the way to ring in Freedom Day, no doubt about that, as they lost their freedom, went to jail for the day, no doubt about that. Well, those were the top 10 police chases of 2024. Thanks again for joining us on Live Now from Fox. We bring it to you always live, raw, and direct, and we are very excited for what 2025 will bring, and we know that there will be police chases happening. We invite you to continue to watch with us so you could see all of the highlights live, raw, and unfiltered right here on Live Now from Fox.